feel the victories reaching me. Make the move to fight back, so you better step back, cause I'm unstoppable. Come, no need to break for me. Come, no need to cry for me. I'm in my place, no one's gonna break me. So far, no one can stop. No need to break for me. No need to cry for me. This is my place, no one's gonna break me.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to GCS day number 2 of week 8. I am D2. That is Rabby or Raby. And excuse me, I am with the Source. And we have a pretty good set of matches for you today. Going to be Man versus MS to start us off. Not really sure how MS is going to play after they were just at the PvP Esports Championship, but we also have SMG versus Flash Wolves, and we will see if SMG can continue their Titan killer ways. What's up, the Source? How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I didn't get a chance to look at the PvP games to see how Monster Shield is done, so I'm gonna take a quick gander over at that.
They beat Flipside, and yeah, so
wow.
Yeah,
that's not saying too much.
Not to be too harsh on tournament organizers, since we are casters and we would like to be hired by them, but PvP Esports, if I'm going to give you some advice, do not hold your stream on the same channel as a different esport and have it mixed in, because I know that you think that people are going to be watching yours more because they're interested in Dota, but it's better to have it on a different channel. It's also very confusing because I thought the PvP Esports AOV channel was going to be showing it, but alas. In any case, here are our standings. Jade Team at first, retaking that #1 spot after being able to defeat AHQ yesterday. AHQ is still in an okay spot because SMG and HK are falling down a bit. It's SMG actually retaking that 4th place spot after passing up HK after the loss yesterday. So this is certainly an opportunity for SMG, though I personally I wouldn't want SMG to make the playoffs at the expense of AHQ. And I guess I'm asking for one to lose, I suppose. But wouldn't that be quite the playoffs, by the way, to have J Team, Flash Wolves, SMG, and AHQ. Again, I'm sorry, Team 1. I just can't. I have to kick you out. I have to kick you out of my fantasy playoff lineup.
It would be quite the clash of titans. I feel like we get pretty much good games across the board at every level, but SMG they've still got some work to do before they manage to get there. They still have to overtake one team who are in an okay position, but definitely need to prove themselves a bit more.
Yeah, and speaking of Monster Shield again and their denim jackets, I'm really curious as to if they've just been flying back and forth and they're super like jet lagged. I mean, it is Singapore; it's not super far. I guess Taiwan to Singapore, is that super close? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Geography.
Well, I've flown to Taiwan. I've never like stayed there. It was part of a layover, but Singapore is more farther from me. I live in Japan, by the way, if you guys don't know. So I'm not sure if they just keep flying back and forth. It could be like a pretty short flight. Let me just Google this real quick. Taiwan to Singapore flight time. So not sure if it's just if they have like a huge roster or what have you. 4 hours, 31 minutes. That's not that short.
That's also not that bad, and it's the same time zone too.
Yeah. But
so you're not. I don't think you're running in the same kind of jet lag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe not jet lag, but like maybe not jet lag due to the time difference, but like jet lag due to being on a jet for a long time.
Yeah. Right. It could definitely be travel. Like you could definitely say that travel could affect them.
Yeah. Actually, in Japanese, the word for jet lag is like time difference stupidness. It's like Jisa Boke, which literally means like Jisa is time difference, and Boke means like dumbass. So it's like it's pretty funny. Anyway, although there are not any like bad words in Japanese, but if you were trying to like the same context, what I would translate it closest to would be like dumbass. But yeah, again, it doesn't. People just use it casually. In any case, this is Team Mad, and honestly, even though MS is below them in the standings, MS has looked pretty good. They legitimately defeated one. I think that one got a little bit casual and expected to win and didn't play Hualin, but they didn't really throw per se. Monster Shield took that win. We were surprised, but more so that it happened and not by anything in particular that happened during the game. It was like Monster Shield played just well enough to win, and one played just not well enough to lose, without completely bungling it, and we're to the point where we were like, what are you doing, Team 1, right? It was like they just got outplayed, essentially. So, honestly, I've never seen that level of play from Mad, other than when they... I think it's when they defeated SMG, but SMG played a terrible game. The point I'm trying to make is MS has looked better than Mad, even though MS is below them in the standings.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Sure. MS has shown better play. I think Mad has just performed better, if that makes sense.
They've had better results.
Yeah, they've been able to pick up more wins where it matters when they could. But Monster Shield, I think, has shown a higher high, as opposed to Mad, which is showing a consistent lower level of play.
I also think that Monster Shield they get discouraged, because if you're in a long losing streak, it's very discouraging. Even that one win can kind of shield you from that, as Mad was in that position for a while. So if you're 0-5, all of a sudden the next game you lose, it's like, oh my god, here we go again, and it's very hard to overcome. So I think that Monster Shield has the monkey off their back, and I think they're ready to show what they're made of, especially because, like we just mentioned earlier, they did defeat Flipside at the PvP Esports, and I would say probably some of the favorites in that tournament. So, in other news, and that just came out literally like a few hours ago. What do you think about that one?
I'm gonna need to give her some legitimate time. I am glad to have her in terms of what she brings to the support table. I like pretty much everything in her kit. I think that she, like Pires, is one of those challenging to execute supports, and so when we do see her played well, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and I think that she would be played more in the GCS and other leagues. You see teams try to make it work. They keep hovering over her. Like, this hero should be good, but it just never gets the wins. So she should be fine on ladder for you guys at home. So go ahead and pick her up. Although right now she's unable to be trialed for some reason. It's very strange. So yeah, that's an issue. And that was the case on SEA. I think they may have just rushed her out and didn't bother and forgot to change some of the settings because on other servers you're not allowed to trial her, like on SEA. So yeah, hopefully they fix that. In any case, we have our match between MS and Mad. As you can see, I believe Ohm has the most damage received. That's why he has that nice little purple shield by his name. But starting off here, by the way, this is on the tournament server, so if you guys are wondering if they're playing with a new Taiwan patch, they are not, which I would argue makes it a little bit harder for them. But
yeah, it's mildly annoying.
In any case, Superman ban. Superman has been... He's not quite to the insta-ban he was, but he's been pretty much up there as people have regained the ability to play the Man of Steel. It turns out he's still pretty good. And the reason why people thought he was bad after the nerf was because people stopped playing him, so they didn't know how to play with him. In any case, the rest of our bands are Malak, Raz, Pira, Lindis, Kresh. Long-time or recent viewers of ours know exactly how we feel about Malak and don't feel like he should be banned, but Better than picked, I suppose. And we start off with a Yebeneth.
Yeah, better than picked, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Like,
it still makes us hurt inside.
it doesn't mean a whole lot because that's a ban you burned. You're better off letting your opponent have it, in my opinion.
Well, they could have potentially intentionally burned that ban just to get one space out of the way, so that because they are picking first. So that does open up a space for Yebeneth. If they had banned perhaps Lindis, then maybe Mad bans Yebeneth. So there's a possibility. We're not going to completely get all riled up at the moment. But on the other side, we have a Mina and a Liliana. That does open up the possibility for Chognar. Mad seeming like they value having the Liliana secured rather than getting the Chognar to counter the counter, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't think MS needs to go for Crixie here. They can wait.
No, they can very much wait on their mage, and the fact that they are means
And
they're not sure where they want to go with the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know.
Exactly, and I feel like it's a pretty easy Chognar Marja. Because Marja's fine. Not like they need to pick Marja, but if they want Marja, then yeah, pick Marja now. And so in that case, I would just say Marja Chognar, and then you can pick the Crixie later. Like you mentioned, if they don't know what they're doing with their draft, then yeah, you pick a generic hero, or the hero that you're going to pick anyway. But I really feel like they should pick Chognar, so I don't know what's happening here.
I mean, that was the right adaptation. They saw that the Violet was open. They had the option to take it. They didn't need to pigeonhole themselves into a mid lane pick. They got a marksman jungler. They now have two incredibly strong side lanes. All it comes down to now is finding the right support with Chognar still up.
Well,
and
not only
Mad
that,
not looking like they're going to lean into it. Like, that's a good pickup.
Not only that, though, if you pick Violet, you can actually slide her over to the side lane, as we've seen recently. It's not a guarantee that they go for that. Go for her as a jungler, and they could pick up an assassin, but they are going for the Crixie in the end, and I think maybe
Yebeneth, I'm not feeling it.
Okay, well, on top of that, I think MS was in Singapore yesterday or today or whenever that match happened, and they didn't see AHQ versus J Team when Krignac splatted all over Crixie and the other marksman that they had. I don't think you pick Crixie into a Krignac. I wouldn't do it, and they do.
No, I would very much agree that that is a poor decision.
And they really have no way to protect Crixie other than Death's Embrace. And Omen's not really going to be around the fight very often.
No, he's not. It's
that Crixie pick could be the draft loss. And
it could be. It depends on how good Joey is. It depends on how strong this Yebeneth is on peeling for the Crixie. That's really the question you have to ask yourself.
I'm not sure that Joey is the jungler. Is he? Isn't it like Soar or something? I forgot. Mad. We don't know about Mad. We only know about the top team. Sorry, Matt. We're very prejudiced in this league.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say without good reason.
Yeah. There we go. In any case, looks like we have all our members filled in, and Soar was the assassin jungler. I'm surprised I remembered that. It's just the name that you say the most. the name that first comes to your head when you think of the certain players, because that's usually it. In any case, we should probably remember these things. Bevel, for some reason, just stays in my head. I don't know why. But, yeah, Yebeneth on the support. He is an okay support, but really limited in what he can do in that role. He kind of has to play a very passive support. You can't be up in their faces like Mina or Chognar or what have you. You can't be really pushing the envelope. You need to be, like, just hanging back and protecting the carry, essentially.
So, I'm probably going to say that this leans towards Mad.
Yeah. We reluctant,
On the
even though
whole.
our call before the draft was MS is looking good lately. They can take it, and then after that draft, we're like, oh,
Draft wise, this I feel like this leans towards Mad.
yeah, exactly. So we're like, vote goes to Mad now after that draft.
This feels like this is very much in their favor.
You're very sad about that. That's kind of funny.
That it's in their favor.
It's like you're like, yeah, I guess Mad won the draft.
I mean, I'm not really stressed about it.
Okay. Well, at least we have a different Violet skin for first time in a while. As we get this started off, looks like they're going to be rotating through this mid part of the map to see if they can invade or if they have to go back to their own camp. Looks like they're going back to their own camp. And Oli's going to get started on his side. And let's see if we can have the only one combo dominate this game once again. They are the only one, except they are two. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, they are the only one. Alright, I'm done. I didn't have a whole lot to follow up with that on because the pun is it's just something I think we've beaten to death. But as far as top tier names go, it is pretty good. My biggest issue with that naming scheme is they did it. Part of me thinks they did it intentionally.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
No. There's a part of them that was like, this is gonna be great. Like they may not have planned it, but like they know what they did.
In any case, the thing that's going well for MS is that they did pick two very strong side laners, which means they're probably going to be winning those lanes. So if they can kind of warp the battlefield in that way and not really take fights and just keep Crixie and Violet safe, this might be good. MG in quite a bit of trouble. He uses some trouble to try to get out of there. Also uses the Flicker and actually gets a lot of damage onto multiple members, but Bevel does a really good job of tanking the tower here for Sora so that he can finish that kill off. Good mechanical play. By the way, you guys should do that. If your jungler is diving, you take the tower shots so that they can finish the kill. But that means that MG has to miss a lot of that farm, and he's going to be falling a little bit behind his counterpart in that lane as MS gets started on the Abyssal Dragon. As I say that, though, 4 members collapse onto here from Mad. Lots of damage coming onto Mori from Joey. He can't really retaliate. Still level 3. Doesn't have that Nature's Realm, but lots of damage coming out from that Tactical Fire. Omen getting extremely low. Sora needs to run away with that drone drop and pack his bags. And looks like MS is going to stick around for a little while longer. Now, Mad is aware of this. They're going to come back. You can see in the minimap they're coming right back over here. And the sun comes out here. Mori trying to get in the front lines. It does go over to MS. Looks like they're going to continue this fight with that extra experience here. Only is going to go down. So that's the first blood of this fight, at least for this situation. Mori actually gets his ultimate and is able to kill off and get the Redwood Rush onto Bevel. I'm not sure if Bevel wants to stick around here. Joey actually taking a lot of damage there from Mori at the end. And this is just funny because they keep trying to back like right there. And Mori's like, I see you. You're right there. I live in the brush. I am a tree, okay? You can't hide from me.
Yeah, nature is not your friend. Nature is my ally. Oh God, that is a quote from something from somewhere. I know how vague that sounds, but that's someone's like, nature is my ally. Like that's a statement from a MOBA character in some game.
Well, we can attribute it to Yebanath. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll give it to Yebanath for now. Despite basically with all of that happening though, with MS getting the dragon, even though they gave up the kills, Omen just had a pretty good time up in the top lane. Didn't even rotate. Got to chill. Got to clear out a bunch of waves. So the gold is basically pretty even. No real advantage gained over to Mad. And because of that, I'm worried about how they're taking these fights because they've now kind of shown that their coordination on the fight doesn't look that good.
Whose coordination?
Mad.
Right, yeah, I would agree with that. The good thing for them is that their highest gold player is that Crickneck. In comes the Death's Embrace, trying to get damage onto the Bevel. In comes the Moonfall, knocks him up, gets a lot of damage, and this is this is a Xenial, so he's going to be taking for a while. But down goes the tower, so this makes it a lot easier to go ahead and take out Ohm, and down he goes. Pretty big mistake here from Ohm trying to make that work when pretty much all was lost. Have to let that go sometimes. As Sword jumps onto the bottom lane there, we don't really see how that fight is finishing up. The Ghostwalk's going to get one out of there. And Sora's going to go ahead and move on. And down goes this tower as well, it seems. Just action happened all over the map. Shinji trying to block and play zone keeper, or whatever it's called, to try to keep them from not being able to defend that tower there. At the end of it all, 2 towers on top for MS, 1 tower on the bottom for Mad. Sora goes ahead and steals out this red buff, and MS comes out with a 1,000 gold lead. But as I say that, Sora runs in. In comes Mori, though, with that Wedwood Rush. He has to pop his his Nature's Realm, but that is doing a really good job of making them run away. And he's getting lots of damage on Ohm as well. Can he finish off the job? In the meantime, Sora tries to dive on the way, but he gets punished for it because one is there to finish him off. So is Only. And the only one combo strikes again with the help of a little bit of tower damage as the big bug, Cricknack, goes down.
Yeah, MS is showing very coordinated team play when it comes to their skirmaging and their target calling. A lot of this seems to be on Mori getting to play that Yeboneth, getting to just dictate the pace of fight, pick the target, decide who they're going to spend their time putting pressure onto, and he's doing it from a support role. And we've seen Mori play, Mina, we've seen Mori play Pura, and they haven't looked as good as this Yeboneth. This actually seems to fit the aggressive playstyle we seem to get out of these Taiwanese support players. They like to get in there, they like to fight. So give them characters who can seriously, this seems to be the way of it.
I just love how the terrifying play came in, and Mori's like, I guess I'll just keep attacking this now. But in comes the Dark Domain, doesn't get a whole lot done. Nature's Realm going to be there as well, but big hook onto multiple members there as the only one gets sniped, but that doesn't matter because Bevel's going to go down. By sniped, I mean hooked. And what was that? I suppose the Abyssal Dragon went over to Sora. They're going to go ahead and try to run away. Mori's just being uber aggressive here onto the mid lane. One thing I have liked from Mori is he's countering the awkwardness of Redwood Rush by prepping it, right? He'll go onto a wave and use some of his abilities, and then wait until a fight breaks out to be able to use that Redwood Rush. So he has that sort of feign ability in order to go ahead and do that. And that's basically one of his biggest weaknesses as far as being your main support player, right? You don't have Redwood Rush off cooldown. You don't have it immediately at the start of a fight, but he's manipulating it so that he actually does. That said, sorry about that.
That usually just takes a lot of practice and skill.
Yeah, exactly. He has to pop the Redwood Rush. Ohm was just always getting caught in this the Nature's Realm. But nothing's happening on either side. There's still this battle up top with Owen constantly pushing in. In comes Sora trying to do damage. Mori's getting extremely low. You see that Crickneck has a ton of damage on the side, likely has all 15 stacks, and building up to that Rank Breaker to go along with the massive damage of that Soul Reaver. Keep in mind that he does get extra damage with additional AD, so having that 130 damage on the Soul Reaver is absolutely massive for him. Or 135, I believe it is. But yeah,
yes,
lots and lots of damage on his side as he finishes up Rank Breaker. So even against the likes of Mori, who is pretty tanky, he's starting to be able to chunk into that. And Crixie and Violet need to be extremely careful and not even be really approachable by Crickneck at all.
Yeah, the Crickneck, we got to see it yesterday, and here we're going to get to see Wade take a bunch of damage, gets blown up with Sora. He's actually getting perfect peel from Mori on this Yeboneth, gets out the Nature's Realm, uses that as the deterrent, and that was a major factor for them. Actually, Dark Dominion used by Ohm, he's going to get pulled back in, takes a tactical fire, gets brought down by Only, and they are not done chasing. Mori throws out one more branching out, and just that right there is how much the peel from the Yeboneth is there to shut down Sora. That was really good for them. Like, we saw the problem with the Crixie, and we saw the concern around the Crixie of if she is a problem, she could be detrimental to the team, and Mori just kept them alive.
Well, one other issue here for Mad is that Sora's being a little bit too aggressive. He needs to wait for his team to be the first ones to initiate, and then he has to go find the damage dealers. It's okay for Ohm to die in a fight, it's not okay for Sora to die. And not until he's killed someone, right? Not until he's killed one of the major damage dealers, be that Crixie or Violet or both. So if Sora dies without having killed someone, it's bad. If Ohm dies not having killed someone, it depends on the team's position as the fight breaks out and moves on. So yeah, Sora needs to wait until the fight starts and then go around the backside Unfortunately, the mad coordination here is just not on point.
No, and their composition is a little cookie cutter in what it's trying to do. It's got one dive, it's got a poke/dive mage, it's got a poke/stun marksman, but that's going to be MG getting caught out in the top. He's going to keep them busy for a very long time while his team is going to get one, maybe even two towers in this bottom lane. They've got the Drake with them as well, and tactical fire off of only. I'd say that's a fair sacrifice to take two objectives, maybe even a third if they play this right.
Yeah, what is Sor finally backs to his base, finally recalls there. I wasn't really sure what's going on. And in fact, the only reason why... Oh, got the big hook and the Dark Dominion onto Mori here. He's going to have to get out of there. But I think that tower would have gone down if only had realized that Sor was off somewhere on the opposite side of the map. I really think that she would have been much more willing to go forward and start wailing away. In fact, I was wondering like why she wasn't doing that. Like, oh, right, she doesn't know where Sor is, which is smart, but very risky by Sor if somehow he was seen on the map.
Yeah, and I would say that that's just, I mean, that's a minor oversight, though. If you know he's not there and you don't see him far enough forward, you could probably push that aggression a little bit. We are going to see them putting more pressure on MG. He's going to stand and fight, though. He's got two teammates. In comes the Angelic Splendor. That's a lot of damage in from only, and the Angelic Splendor doesn't really do a whole lot as Bevel is super low. Here comes one in from the side. Mori is going to cut off the retreat, puts a little bit of pressure on the Joey, uses that Nature's Realm to slow down Ohm. He gets hit with one more miss, just red rush forward, hands together, does not get him.
That was beautiful. MG was under so much trouble. Even the Angelic Splendor was coming through, but only one comes in. Tactical fire. And one gets his damage off as well. I'm forgetting the name. Ghost something probably. But, oh my goodness. Just finishes them off, and Sor unable to get that kill. Feels bad to be a Crickneck. And he just picked up Fenris too. I'm actually surprised he wasn't able to get that. But lots of defense on that Omen, keeping him at bay, and they're likely going to take this tower because, wow, multiple members of MAD themselves are extremely low here.
I need to be really careful. I mean, the damage is there for only. He's at a pretty solid power.
Oh my god,
Sor goes forward. Ghost Walk in. He'll be easily brought down. Angelic Splendor was used, but Bevel will be under significant pressure, and Mori's just there to zone them off. They get the kill. A valiant attempt by Sor, but
I wouldn't. I would say foolish.
The Yemeneth is too good. The Yemeneth is too good.
Well, no,
he's not respecting the Yemeneth.
But he jumped on one. He jumped on one, and if he doesn't one-shot her, she could just ghost walk out because he doesn't have CC really. So I don't know. It was strange to me. It seems like he's getting a little bit desperate. All right, so they pick up the Abyssal Dragon. This most likely is the end of the game. Looks like Only's gonna go off. Oh, she does pick up the Dark Blessing. I was confused about. She was like walking away as it seemed to still be there. In any case, picked up on Only. Makes sense as she is the main killer of the core and towers and everything that exists. She is the bringer of death. In any case, gonna pick up this Sage Golem as she's low on mana, and we're going to be moving on to the top lane tower, I would presume. And this game is likely going to end now. It would take a pretty, not quite a miracle, but an insane fight here from Matt to hold this off.
Yeah, I don't see how they do this. You've got pretty good item spikes coming in on a lot of people, plenty of burst damage, which I think is pretty key. Although Mori goes super deep, it's Sor so low, he's got to get brought down. Ohm kept there by the Nature's Realm. Mori just earned a Yebeneth, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think. This game is over. I've been playing some Yebeneth lately. Just gonna throw that out there as we watch this core get destroyed. When my team is somewhat nearby and 3 people attack me, I'm happy. I'm like, great, 3 kill. Because you can't kill Yebeneth if he has his ultimate. That was Sor not knowing how Yebeneth works. Because when I'm in that exact same position as Mori wasn't now, I lick my lips. I'm like, yes, 3 kill. Here we go. Everyone attack me. Everyone attack me, please. Come on. Because I know how it works out. They attack. I slap them together. I pop my ultimate. They start running. But by that time, they're slowed down that my team can kill them. It's just... I've seen that way too many times. And that's just disappointing from Sor. Just bad decision making.
Yeah. I mean, it felt kind of like Mad didn't really have a game plan with their draft.
Well, no, their draft made sense. Their execution was off, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they didn't know what they like. They drafted a draft and didn't know how to play it.
Yeah, they they had a draft in which we were like, this looks bad for a Monster Shield, but Mad just completely bungled that one and didn't know how to play around what kind of draft they had. I think if we gave that draft to, you know, J-Team and played them against AHQ, they would have won, or even vice versa. Like, it's just one of those situations where it's gotta play a little bit more intelligently than that, but they're unable to get it done. Oh, and hey, while we're here, another one of your pet peeves: Joey building Hyoga's Edge and Frostcave.
Joey, Joey. I hadn't even like it actually hadn't registered. I'd forgotten. I feel like I wasn't spending a whole lot of time watching Joey.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of the game was on Sora and Ohm and Bevel, and like Joey and Shinyu were like periphery to that.
He was landing against Marja, so even though he had 30% damage, a lot of those were empty calories that were healed right back up on the lane. So yeah, wasn't really a whole lot getting done. And in fact, the worst, I'm getting into all these pet peeves about my games. I don't know why, but when you build a lot of defense and you end up with this massive damage number, it doesn't mean that you are doing meaningful damage. It just means that you were staying alive enough, long enough to do like lots of damage overall. And by the way, deserving MVP here, or key player for Mori. But just because you stay alive long enough to deal damage doesn't mean you dealt meaningful damage, right? If you got multiple players from 100 to 80% as they cycled in and out of the fight, that doesn't matter, even if it's like technically you got the most damage on the team.
Yeah, it actually has to result in either effective kill, like it needs to result in effective kills, or it needs to result in objectives taken. So Mori done good. I would ban that Yebineth from him. I wouldn't let him have that again. That looked very, very impressive.
Yeah, that was surprisingly effective for a support Yebineth, which is something you don't quite see. That's the first time I've seen support Yebineth in professional play. And he was just really good at saving his Redwood Rush, or at least building up to it, and having 4 stacks at the right moment. You can build it very slowly, if you guys don't know. Once you get a stack, it's 8 seconds before the stacks goes away. So you can slowly build up on like a monster or a minion wave here or there. You just smack, walk away, smack, walk away, smack. And for 40 seconds, you can just mess around and finally pull out the Redwood Rush when you do need it. So something to keep in mind. And even just having like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 stacks before you go into a fight is really nice, because all you need to do is hit 2 heroes and you will have that Redwood Rush available to you if you do have 1 stack. But this is our starting fight of the game. Very, very hectic, as you see Ohm getting taken down by Mora here in that fight.
Yeah. And
this is where Ohm again. You know that Dark Dominion doesn't cancel that out, don't you? Right? In case here's this fight. Only one come in, I should say. And they finish that off. By the way, I learned today that before or after you activate Nature's Realm, but before you officially gain CC immunity, you can get stunned out and the full cooldown goes off. It's very upsetting.
You can cancel the skill can get canceled as putting your hand into the ground.
Yeah, it's very upsetting, and it happened twice in the same game, and I was very mad. Especially because you think you're getting stunned, and then you think you got stunned out of being able to use it in the first place, and so you keep pressing it, and you're like, wait, it's on cooldown. What? It's very sad, especially because a lot of times when you use it, you don't want to use it to like kill people. Well, you do want to use it to kill people, but the way you kill people is you bait them in. You bait them like right next to you, and then you use it, right? So that means you're always in like danger when you use it, or else it's not going to be effective. And so if you're in danger and it gets canceled, you're like, uh-oh, I gotta run. It's like Clark Kent trying to turn into Superman, but he can't, or something like that. It's like, oh, jeez, what do I do now? It's not a good feeling. In any case, looks like Mad's changing one of their members. I can kind of read those characters. The first two mean change or switch, and then the last two means player. So Mad's gonna switch up a player here. What do you think about that?
Now's not a bad time to do it. They looked a little lost in that game. The driving force was Soar, and then the moment that Soar really got shut down, there wasn't a whole lot. Plus that conversion of 2 kills top into the 2 towers after basically just giving up 1 kill. Like,
it feels very desperate though in the middle of a series to do so. I would agree with it, but it's just not a good look.
No, it's not a bad thing if you have a clear plan around it, which is really where my questioning comes in from Matt as to whether or not they actually have a legitimate plan.
Who would you take out? I would take out either Soar or Ohm, because those were the members.
I'd take out Ohm.
Yeah, didn't.
I would rotate out Ohm. I think he had the biggest of issues.
Well, Ohm's still in the game. He has that purple shield that he has to keep up. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was just like, no matter what, I'm going to keep this purple shield, so I'm gonna just feed the other team and get the most damage taken. That would be so despicable if it were true.
Nah.
Okay, Ronan seems to be the new player. I forgot. I'm not really sure who he's replacing, which is probably why he's replacing him, because if we don't even remember who that person was.
They replaced Joey.
Joey. Okay. Goodbye, Joey. Hello, Ronan.
Rip Joey.
Alright. MS actually bans Yebeneth. Okay. Interesting. Also, Omen is banned, which makes sense. Superman was obviously always part of Mad's ban strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know why you banned the Yebeneth there. You should at least leave it for 3rd ban.
Perhaps they know that Mad likes to pick Yebeneth and didn't want to have it out first. And banning it now allows them to switch their bans onto someone else that needs to be banned. Like, perhaps they felt that Kilgroth is too good of a dueler to leave. And then maybe something like a Violet comes up. But speaking of Violet, Mad bans them out. Let's see what MS has to counter here. They could go for the Raz. The funny thing is, we're coming into a situation here where the mage situation is like a 2 mage situation. I know I said situation about 5 times, but there's always been kind of hierarchies among the top leagues, and for a long time it was 3 mages. It was L'Oreal, Tulin, and forgetting the other one. Liliana, maybe? I think it was L'Oreal, Tulin, Raz, actually. And then Raz got replaced by Liliana, who got replaced by the Flash. And it was always just like 3 or 4 mages at the top. And you could ban 1 or ban 2 and kind of mess up the mage strategy. And for a while we thought that the mages, there were too many mages that wasn't really a thing anymore. But nowadays we're seeing that Liliana and Raz are really at the top there. Sometimes Flash can be picked, but only in the right circumstance. So, yeah, banning out a Raz or a Liliana actually messes up with people's drafts and forces people into something like a Crixie, who, as we've seen, hasn't really been as effective. But that said, wasn't really banned out. The Malik gets banned out here, and I do believe that it's a throwaway ban so that they have those mage slots open. And looks like they're going to expend their first picks here on Liliana and Crest, which is pretty solid here. The question is someone finally going to pick Chognar, or are we going to have these extremely strong ultimates just run rampant?
It's looking like run rampant, but we'll see.
Well, Marja picked up for Matt here. I really want to see Marja's win rate, because it seems like she's winning all the time. I don't know if it's just me.
I mean, she's good. She fails to lose.
We've been talking about her dominance of Malik, but I feel like she's never really done poorly. she's never, even if she's lost, she's never seen like the problem in any case. So, in any case, looks like Pierre is going to be the pickup here, which would shift the Crush over to the side lane. Kind of a dicey move from MS here, especially because their dominance of the side lanes last game was what really catapulted them in a way. But looks like they're going for a completely different strategy, being very aggressive with the Fennec Pyrrha Crush combination. And what that can do is you can metamorphosis onto a tower, immediately burn it down, and if there's any rebuttal, you stop them in their tracks with Nature's Rally. I don't really recall ever seeing Crushed and Pyrrha together as a combination, or perhaps I have, but I haven't really thought about it too closely. What about you? It feels like I haven't seen this combination, but thinking about it, it certainly makes sense.
My only concern is you run into a bit of a damage fall off. It depends on who this last pick is for Mori. Or not for Mori, but it depends on what the last pick is, because I'm concerned about a damage fall off with their composition, whereas over on the other side, Mad got all the deeps. They got Lindis, Marja, Raz, plenty of CC, like, that composition is textbook crowd control, and now I'm looking at MS, and I'm like, I want you to pick Chognar, but you kind of can't now. So it's...
Well, they didn't have trouble dealing with Amina last game without Chognar, so I don't think they really need Chognar.
Boo-boo.
I think a side laner is fine here. A lot of the side laners have been taken away by the bans. In fact, 5 of them.
New patch Lubu. If that were new patch Lubu, I'd believe.
Old patch Lubu was actually not too bad. It's just that we haven't seen too much of him. The one issue I have here is they're really, really relying on their ability to just smash and burn into a team fight and just run everything over. Because they can't stealthily get to their backline. There's no one on the team other than Liliana by herself. Lubu kind of can, but with the nerf to his first ability, the fact that it's much shorter now, he really can't dive the backline as well as he used to. And he's probably going to be off doing his own thing in his soul and anyway. So MS is really relying on just being able to shove through the front door and kill everyone.
Yeah.
That said, there's lots of damage. If you get a Chain Hammer Cyclone into a Shining Light, it really hurts. So, could happen.
Does, but I would hope that we're about to see a stronger macro skill set from Monster Shield and really abuse the Fennec. Get the Fennec to objectives, take the objectives. Get the Fennec, open Fennec up, a 3 auto attack window, get something and leave. Like, steal buffs, steal camps, pressure the jungle, find a tower.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I want them to play that strategy over team fighting.
Well, that's what I'm not saying try to fight them in an open field. I mean, do what you said, right? You rotate them around the map, you take all the monsters, you take the Abyssal Dragon, and then when the team you feel like it's somewhere else, you force a 3v2 or 4v2 with your push abilities essentially, and you kill a tower. So you basically do, like you mentioned, the clockwork strategy, except on with all 9 towers. You just rotate around the map, kill a tower, rotate another tower, kill the tower. It doesn't matter if people are under it because you're just going to push them out of the way. That's what I meant. Comp
is pretty good at running away as long as Mori is not the one getting caught, aka Mori is currently being at least harassed. Yeah. If Mori's not caught, the strategy kind of works, but like, I worry about Mori now. Mori's not on like a solid tanky he's not on Yevoneth, man. Saving Private Mori.
It's okay. He has the old Pyrrha. Or the current Pyrrha, but not the Taiwan Pyrrha. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, the Taiwan patch came out last week, but they're currently not on that patch. They're on a tournament patch, so the Pyrrha is the good old Pyrrha that you know and love on the likely server that you're on. I'm guessing there's no Taiwanese viewers in here. But yeah, she is good old Pyrrha with all of that Nature's Rally goodness and the healing like goodness that she can provide her team.
Alright, so Slow opening start. No one doing anything particularly crazy. Why did MG build boots? What? Why did MG build boots and is not stacking? Okay, the lane allows for it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it under very specific circumstances of duress, but not happy about that opening item build.
Well, he does have that objective control if he wants to take that away from Bevel, who he himself has gone for the boots as well. So that is a boots battle over there on the Darkslayer lane side. And MS is going to go ahead and try to start this. They can burn it down very quickly, but obviously very wary of the fact that Mad is approaching. And looks like they're going to leash this away while they wait for Liliana to potentially come. Now speaking of that, in the mid lane, we see both Ohm and Xingyi just clearing that up. And a little bit of scouting onto the Abyssal Dragons themselves. Are they going to start it? They are starting it, actually. And MS, can they get here in time? They're going to be jumping onto it and is taken by Mad. Are they going to be able to take this fight? Big Metamorphosis comes in. So does the Angelic Splendor, though. Lots of damage coming in from Xingyi. He's pushing multiple members around. Is he going to be able to survive? He does go down, but not before he takes out Mori. Now, well, as I say that, everything breaks up. I was like looking at the members who were dead, and then the fight was over. Anyway, 3 for 2 from Monster Shield. Did you catch the rest of the fight?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it came down to Xingyi's positioning and how much damage he was able to get into just the center of the fight. But then at the same time, you know, Wei took his time, rotated around the side, and was able to clean up everything. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
It ended up working out for them pretty well.
I was looking at who the member who was that he killed, and I was like, oh. And I looked up from the side of the map, or side of the screen, I should say, and then the fight was over. Oh, feels bad. Anyway, that ends up in pretty much a tie. Looks like one has to go ahead and pop his Metamorphosis so that he can't get dove on his tower. Gonna protect that tower with his life. Speaking of which, the Nature's Rally and the T9 Cyclone is used here. Good pull by Ohm, but they might get this tower regardless just because Only is ridiculous at taking down towers. Oh, wow, great Dark Dominion. Can they take down the tower? They cannot. Wow, that was really good from Ohm to prevent that, but they're going to get really aggressive here, but that's because they have 5 members rotating around. Mori's going to get pushed back. Ohm is taking a lot of damage himself as he's trying to secure this kill, but he's going to be able to get out of there while they take out Only. And that was a good rotation, but it did cost them 5 members, which means their tower on the bottom is going to go down. They do get the tower on the top, but this is certainly a trade.
Yeah. This is still better macro attention from Mad. They're matching things up pretty well. Monster Shield, they really do need to start getting that Fennec near those towers. The way that fight went down, they were a little slow in rotating back to it after going off to go get camps, so you can't completely blame them for that. But again, this right here, they're taking this blue buff and they're losing time. They are a little bit faster on the uptake, but they still are scared to go in. Out comes the ultimate from Mori. That's going to keep them busy. They get damage on the Ohm. They get the Metamorphosis on the store. They need to finish him off, but Ronin comes in as well as great damage from Xingyi, and they are cleaning up the members of Monster Shield. Wei is doing some serious work. One is going to keep them busy. Maybe something comes out of this, as we do see the Lubu rotating in from the side. He has not cut anyone off just yet. Has to be a little bit wary, and God, Wei is keeping them in this game. It's impressive. Dive underneath the tower. Dark Dominion onto Wei. Wei gets pulled back in. He's going to dash out. Takes another tower hit, but he'll be okay. And the chase from Soar won't continue, but just watch your shield. They're just a little late to these plays.
Yeah. I have a hard time responding to that. It's just, like you mentioned, they're coming into a little bit too late, and they're still making some things work. It's just a little bit off, where they're taking a little bit too damage among their frontline characters before they're able to get the damage in themselves. Obviously, that's a little bit on Only because it takes a while for him to get off all of this damage. But Big Dark Dominion comes on 2 members. Only's in a lot of trouble. Has to Rolling Lightning out, but he's going to go down regardless. And this is exactly like you mentioned. He's not getting the farm because as he's trying to take these towers, he gets rotated on. And that's a good job from Mad, realizing that what they need to do this game is shut down Only. And he just now gets Scorching Wind. Doesn't even have boots. It's such a different situation from He and Lindis, who, oh, by the way, MG going to go down here, taking lots of damage between his towers. And that is just good rotations here from Mad as they're able to pick him off. But like I mentioned, Lindis just way more farmed up here than the Fennec. 2,000 gold more.
That is fairly impressive. That's like, I mean, a lot of that is them facilitating Soar, but we're only at about 6 minutes into the game, and so, well, here is the moment.
Well, Mad
Continue.
Mad has just been clearing waves, and then whenever they see Only, they say we kill Only. Whenever we see Only, we kill him. Whereas Only has been trying to take down towers. So he's had a bit of a different objective. And that's just resulted in a situation where he's way, way lower in that farm because he hasn't been focusing on farming per se. He's been focusing on objectives, which makes sense because you're a Fennec and you want to kill towers as quickly as possible. But Mad has just been searching him out throughout this entire game. Well, MG's going to die below a tower. Ohm is actually able to get him exactly at the right time below that tower. That tower's been the bane of their existence. But in the bottom lane here, Mori taking a lot of damage. In comes the Metamorphosis, but likely onto the wrong member there as the damage was coming in from the top. So one unable to save his ally there as Mori is the first one to go down. Only's going to go ahead and back off. One's going to continue to try to fight here, but that's likely just to buy space here for Only as he's waiting in the bush and goes back as his teammate dies for his sins. Mid tower goes down here for Mad as they are continuing to run away with this game, and they're going to aggress on the Dark Slayer here. Ronin looks like has been a major difference, and we talked about the Marja being a pretty solid character in and of herself, but looks like Ronin is also playing it pretty well, getting that rotation, leading his team to victory thus far.
So, to my never-ending fight with Rank Breaker as an item, Soar, I'm okay with his Rank Breaker, and here's why. He got it before 10 minutes, and he's going to have 3 minutes of effectiveness with it. At 10 minutes, it's going to start to become less and less valuable, but this is the key moment where Rank Breaker is allowed. So I do think I needed to note that it is rare to see a Rank Breaker finished at that pace to be able to actually be in that perfect timing where it gets its highest level of effectiveness. Moving on.
It also should be mentioned that he's doing a really good job, especially as a Lindis, of finding the backline. Typically, Lindis is just fighting in the front because they're too fragile. They don't have really the range to go ahead, or speed, unless they're around bushes, to go ahead and fight those backline characters. But as I say, that big Dark Dominion comes in. Mori pops the Nature's Rally, trying to get out of here, but she's taking a lot of damage herself. Has the Healing Eye as well, and they're going to run away, but that gives a lot of space here for Mad to start pushing down these towers. But yeah, she's been doing a really good job of finding the backline, which again is very, very rare. And when you're able to do that, Rank Breaker does a bit more work than the Muramos in that situation. Let's see if she can continue to find the backline as this Drake pushes in onto this tower. Lots of members congregating here. MG is on the other side of the map to match the side of Babel in order to put some more pressure on, but Sora's going to go ahead and take that tower out pretty easily with the help of the dragon. Only 4 towers remaining here for MS as Mad pushes onto this central tower, trying to get all of the tier 2 towers down, and they're successfully able to do so. Not sure if they can take any high gun towers, but potentially if they take down MG. Wow, Flickerian and the Dark Dominion, but MG is able to get out because, you know what, Conquer gives you 50% resistance. That's pretty good. It seemed like that Dark Dominion didn't last at all.
No. At this point, well, I wouldn't even say that that's even really that much of a concern. I actually don't think Mad cares. Mad's fine. Mad's fine. Sora's getting that super tank shreddy late game. I'm impressed with the turnaround from Mad. Maybe it is the composition, maybe it's Ronin, like you were saying, but this looks like it looks like they just know where they need to be more often than not. Whereas Monster Shield,
it also feels like
they're not playing bad.
It also feels like Sora's just better on Lindis because Sora can just run around, clear camps, shoot whoever's in front of him rather than having to dive backline members. And at this moment, tanks can't even deal with a Sora. You have to find the Sora and kill Lindis, or else your entire team is going to die, including the tanks. So yeah, they need to find her, and it's very difficult for them to do so because they don't really have a lot of dive, like we mentioned. Their entire strategy revolves around just pushing down the front door. Speaking of MS.
Yeah, and they've kind of missed the window to really do that effectively.
Well, one is getting knocked up here. He's going to have to pop the Metamorphosis. Can they take advantage? Looks like Ohm's taking a lot of damage, but so are the side of MS here. So much damage going down. One just going to get completely chunked to death despite his Metamorphosis there. And two shot is only by Soar. And that very likely could be game here if they have the minion waves to support them. They do up top. Let's see if they're able to take down this tower. Lindis is actually notoriously not very good at taking down towers, especially with that Soul Reaver. She does not really have the attack speed to do so, but they are burning it down at the moment. In comes the Ghost Walker just to be very annoying here from Ronan, and space provided. He's able to do that for his team. The Reyes Blessing passive goes off, but while that happens, the mid tower goes down. Mad's going to rotate to somewhere. I was going to say to the bottom, but it looks like they're going to back off. They're heading towards Abyssal Dragon, and it looks like we're having an exact mirror of last game, except Mad this time are the ones to go Abyssal Dragon into game.
Yeah, they should be able to easily end this. I don't know if members of MS,
they
can't really make it there in time, and there's some damage coming from Shingy. Dark Dominion is using Angelic Splendor into the back line to start healing up the members of Mad.
Ronan
from
just
Monster
got
Shield dies,
deleted.
though.
Ronan got deleted.
Yeah, he went in pretty far. The fact that Angelic Splendor wasn't in the right position was a bit of a concern, but Soar will pick up a revenge kill, take down MG, and they will make their way around the map and set themselves up for another play.
Yeah, as the members of Mad had to go back, Soar's just going to go ahead and reset, get a blue buff, potentially get a red buff. Might rotate back over to the Darkslayer as well once this is all done, because they've kind of wasted this Abyssal buff. Let's see what they go ahead and decide to do here. So we're not really close to the action. And they don't really have the minion wave pushing onto the bottom lane either. So really their only objective here, or their only last thing that they can go for, is the Dark Slayer. Now MS could try to rely on this debuff coming in from the Dark Slayer, but they are buffed in the beginning with the Abyssal Dragon, so kind of a dicey proposition for MS to contest this. That said, if they let this get taken, they're probably going to die anyway, so damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, they can't safely show up to that. And now that Lindis has 3 lives, Sur is kind of a bit of a monster. You're gonna have to kill him and then kill him again and then kill him one more time. And I was already a little concerned about Monster Shield damage from the get-go. The Lubu hasn't shown itself to be a real major factor. I don't think they can do it.
Yeah, and Blade of Eternity itself actually adds like 80 damage or so to the Lindis just across the board because of that extra 10%. But so it's actually another attack item that gives her an extra life. But in comes the Metamorphosis, trying to see what they can do. Nature's Rally comes out for more, but she's taking a ton of damage in the meantime. Has to pop the Essence of the Wind. Big Dark Dominion comes in, so does the Angelic Splendor. The Chill's trying to go into this tower, which is getting extremely low. One's taking a lot of damage. Mori has to back off, and it looks like they're going to eventually burn it down as members of MS just have to back off here. Now pushing on to one. He's going to go down. Dark Dominion comes out. MS is getting extremely low himself. Ohm going to flicker out, but that doesn't matter because they're getting low themselves. Sword just has a Thief's Mark on him, but he doesn't care because he's immortal, and that is going to be the game. They're playing with their food, going into the fountain. GG. Sarah is tied 1-1.
Good opening from the side of Mad, and they just never really let it go. Pretty good. I think a lot of that comes on to letting Shingy on the Raz and giving him an outlet to make big plays. So I think you are right that the mage game is becoming more and more interesting. I do want to see some teams branch out a bit because it seems like they're a little scared to try some of the other mages. It's like the only thing we could default is to Grixie. That's a mild concern.
What do you think would be good though? It's like the only hero who I can think of is Jinnar, but he's a very specific comp. I think you could still make him work. Yeah, you could still make him work. He's very all in.
I think you can play Jinnar. I also think you can play Tulin. I think Tulin is underappreciated. He's not bringing the same crowd control to the table, but I feel like there are compositions that will work with Tulin. One similar to the Raz. I very much think you can run Tulin more often than people are giving him credit for. Again, where this is when you're at the bottom of that barrel, and you're trying to decide what you're gonna run because Liliana and Raz are gone. Don't have those options. Like, where does your next step go? I think Tulin is a viable option.
Yeah, I suppose Tulin versus Crixie. If you're contemplating that, I can see the Tulin. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever pick Tulin over Raz or Liliana though, which is interesting.
No. That's yeah. It's not.
Which is so interesting, right? How the metagame has evolved in this way that you would never say a month ago that there's going to be 2 mages left, and even if you said that, no one would pick Liliana or Raz. Maybe Raz, but Liliana, people thought she was falling down the tier list essentially. But she's back in a huge way. I'm actually like looking at my own tier list to see. But yeah, it's just there's just no one there. Honestly, Marja works better as a mid than a lot of heroes.
She does, but I really think it's Tulin, I think it's Jinnar. I think they both can play that get in there and fight style. I think they both have options. I think similar, like Jinnar is a little bit more specific in the way you run him, but I think you can run Tulin in almost every Raz-based composition because he can poke. It's not as effective, but it's there, and he can kite at high mobility. It's not as free, but it's there. That's the thing. It's like it's the budget. Tulin is the budget Raz in a lot of ways. It's not as much crowd control for sure, but it allows you to kind of look for that highly mobile playmaking status.
I think people could play a lot more Natalia if they're picking between Natalia and Crixie.
Yeah, Nat. Those are the 3. Nat, Jinnar, Natalia, I think are the 3 that aren't being utilized.
And honestly, I think if Marja's available, which sometimes she is, and you don't have a mid, I would rather pick Marja, to be honest. Like just looking at, I mean, the Flash. Sometimes you see the Flash, but he's a very specific comp. So Flash is a very specific comp. Some other heroes are very specific comp, but yeah. Otherwise, you go for Natalia. You go for perhaps Marja if you don't have anything else, or if you do have Marja, you just pick a side laner instead of picking a mage. That's certainly possible. One other option as we go forward is on the new Taiwan patch. Diaton is probably going to be a lot better. And then we have Alistair, who I believe, I haven't play tested it because it takes 3 people to play test, but according to what it said on the Chinese patch notes, his ultimate is going to be like Snare, like the suppress you were talking about.
Okay.
So that's going to be pretty insane potentially. Though I've always advocated Alistair as a support and not as an actual
I mean,
mage.
the fact that there were gaps in his ultimate to begin with was kind of a concern, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like, what's going on? I just walked.
It was like, wait, why? What? There are gaps in this skill? Like, you can get out of it, then what's the point? It's like Gilder ultimate. Like, Gilder ult, it's like, what's the point if there's a chance they could flicker out? Like,
I know. And as a max main, if you have max and Gilded Greaves, you hit the maximum of 60% resistance, which by the way, that's the maximum. So don't build Gilded Greaves on Lubu. In any case, so as max, I'll ult in, and an Alistair or Gilder tried to trap me, and I'm like, nope, see ya, I'm out of here. Because it just doesn't stop me at all in the slightest. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, you just straight up don't care. Like, long hair don't care. Just walk away.
By the way, Roxy's ult on the Taiwan server now, not only is it suppress, but on top of that, the 2.5 second duration cannot be lowered by resistance.
Well, no, that's incorrect. No. that's a no. No.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Oh, but to compensate.
Oh boy.
To compensate for that, they messed up with her, or they messed with her HP again. They cut her HP by 50 per level.
Yo, leave the girl alone. What'd she do to you?
Didn't you just finish complaining about her ultimate?
No, I'm talking about, like, that's bad coding.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that's just...
bad game design, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Bad coding is like when there's like a bug in the game. In any case, we have our bands through. It's going to be Yiboneth, Violet, Lindis, Raz, Malak, Pura. And it's funny how people keep banning their own heroes.
I mean, if I'm good at it, you probably are.
Or perhaps they ban their own Pura because they don't want Mori playing it. In any case, we will see Mori on a new hero this game. We'll see how he deals with that. But starting off, we have the Marja. And looks like Mad was hovering over that Crickneck for a moment there. Decided to think better of it because Sword didn't really play that all too well. I would like to see like a Slims or a Fennec here from Sword, just because it seems like it feels like he plays the Marksman Jungler a bit better. But that said, he locks in the Crickneck. Okay, gotta play it a little bit better this time, or have your team play better around you. As we come over to the Monster Shield side, and immediately they hover over the Liliana, which I am in full support of, especially considering that the Raz has been banned out. So you want that mobile mage, you want that mage that can get away from a Crickneck, you go for that Liliana. She's also the, as we discussed at length a moment ago, the best remaining mage here. So great pickup from them. And it's been decided Mori will be playing the Mina.
All of this seems fine. All of this is going according to plan.
I really want to see the Jinnar rather
Don't
than...
pick Crixie.
Yeah, Crixie doesn't really mesh with Crickneck very well. I don't really see... I mean, they can dive together. Moonfall, it does allow her to sort of do that, but... You know, who does that a little bit better is Jinnar. It's really hard to run away from both a Crickneck and a Jinnar at the same time. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they will run you down.
Well,
Omen is fine.
Yeah, Omen is perfectly fine. That was a pain in their rear when it was on the side of MS earlier. Now, MS, I'm curious to see if they go for a non-marksman comp. A no marksman comp here. I wouldn't be too opposed to see them bust out like a Murad in this composition. Because that would really shut down the Crickneck. Not shut down the Crickneck, but make him a lot harder to be effective. They're asking only, can you play Murad? Oh! Called it. Nice. Let's do it.
Okay.
But the fact that they were so reluctant means that I'm not sure we're going to get the best Murad play this game. Although MS has played it in the past, so we'll see. But this is certainly a solid lineup here. Superman into Omen isn't as bad as it used to be, for some strange reason. Even though Superman's been nerfed. But also, although Omen's been nerfed in the past too, it was like a tiny one. I forgot what it was. But he was slightly nerfed as well.
I want to say it was a change to...
I could look it up if you want.
It's not strictly important. This last pick for Mad, though, what are they hovering?
Side lane Zephys, yeah. Alright, Valhein's fine. They were messing with us. So Valhein's perfectly fine in that side lane there. Valhein Omen's actually very solid. And they have that crash for that engage. They don't really have... I guess they do kind of have a decent initiate comp, where they come in with a Metamorphosis, Crickneck jumps on people, in comes Moonfall, in comes Valhein throwing glaives, just being that guy at the party. But it will be very hard to catch the members of MS, and for that reason I feel like MS has won this draft. In fact, the most vulnerable hero on the side of MS is Mori, strangely enough, on that Mina, because everyone else can just hightail it right out of there when something starts. They pop the Metamorphosis. Wow, that was a very firm handshake. They pop the Metamorphosis, and Superman says, later, I'm out of here, flying away. And Liliana turns into a fox, runs away. Everyone runs away. It's going to be hard. So, I'm going to be picking MS. I think that they can disengage with the best of them, and then perhaps re-engage when Matt is vulnerable. What say you?
That should work. Yeah, that should work depending on how the Kriknak Murad matchup ends up being. Like it's gonna, like, if Sor gets 1 or 2 really good kills on only, things start to shift. There are less great targets for Sor in this game than there were before.
Hello, Nice pushback there from MG, and the subsequent response from the rest of the team. That really hurts, because now you can't be scouting with your scout, or support, as it were. Makes it a lot more difficult. And by the way, Ohm has Punish on a support hero. Or, I mean, you do sometimes have Punish on him when he's playing in that side lane, but he's not going to be playing in that side lane. So, very interesting on his side. I suppose he just wants that objective control. Doesn't really need Flicker or Execute or Heal or what have you. Although Heal is usually pretty useful, but yeah. Looks like he's going for that objective control instead.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea. It's just...
Heal is just so good, that's why. It's just...
Yeah. I think that Matt have miscalculated, especially with how squishy some of their targets are. Like, that extra heal is pretty important when a Murad is diving you and ulting you, and Temporal Turbulence is just destroying your backline, so...
Yeah. Well, in any case, Ohm's getting low again. Another China lane comes out. Good job by Crixie to allow the Ohm to disengage there. So, Xinyi watching out for his good old frontliner. Wei doing a poor job in last hitting these. Literally last hitting none of them. But that's okay. You'll still get some of the experience in gold. But they are going to go ahead, and everyone's going to have a nice old party at this Abyssal Dragon. Mern goes in, tries to get some damage onto Ronan, gets a little bit before he has to get out of there, but that means that his Temporal Turbulence isn't up at the moment. But that, as we say that, MS is starting on this Abyssal Dragon, taking a lot of damage from it though, so that's going to be problematic if they try to start this fight. Temporal Turbulence comes out, but Crixie's able to steal it out. Ohm gets extremely low, doesn't have the Metamorphosis. Omori's going to get jumped on by Ronan, and so is One. He doesn't have the Ghost Walk either. Ronan's going to hunt her down, and MG is going to barely get out of there, so they don't get the dragon, and they lose 4v1 in that fight. Oh my goodness, what a blunder. 5v1 make it. And Soro's going to be him back right in front of the tower, but thought better of it because the minion's coming. But oh my goodness, what a huge blunder on the side of MNIS, using the Temporal Turbulence way too early, overestimating the damage that he'd be able to do. Crixie snipes it out. They get the experience boost from that and all the ultimates on their side in order to finish off the side of MS, and that was just a disaster.
Yeah, I gotta say that MS made a massive mistake, and I put a lot of that on MG for not being there sooner. If MG's rotated in there basically immediately, it works out well, and then Ohm walks in, steals that. They're gonna put some pressure on Ronan, but here comes the Metamorphosis. Ronan does end up going down, and with the last tick of that Temporal Turbulence. But even so, if MG had been there from the start, that might have been better. He's now going to be harassed underneath this tower, finished off, and killed by Sor, who's now 2-0-1. Is going to have his finished Sor Reaver coming through soon. Like, MS still has ways to keep themselves in this game, but that's not a great way to start it.
Pretty much unrelated, but I just find it comical from 2 minutes ago when Ohm just walked into the enemy jungle as a support and took it. I guess that's why he does it, because in his latter games he's a cheeky support that likes to steal camps. Pretty funny, especially because supports, they're always scouting the camps. They always want to take the camps, but they can't because they're supports. But kudos to him for finally being able to do that. But oh my god, is MG going to die? Gets Des back and right back into himself, and then the Death Embrace comes out as well, and down he goes. I'm just going to try to burn down this Abyssal Dragon as quickly as possible. Ohm is kind of sticking in there, but oh, okay, very nice pull there from Mori. I thought the Dark Dominion was a little bit too early, but able to keep him out there anyway. And they get the Abyssal. Not too far behind is MS. This isn't unrecoverable, though they are losing this top tower, and Sora's taking their Sage buff. So, not the worst, but they need to catch up for sure.
Yeah. I mean, not only do they need to catch up, they need to find better opportunities to make some of those plays, and a lot of that should be on MG to find some well-angled flanks, but he's being consistently pressured. I mean, you even things out with another Abyssal Dragon, you're not in a terrible spot, but if I'm sore, I'm looking for my next opportunity to put pedal to the metal. Like, the moment I see anybody cut out, I should be looking to try and close this game out, whereas on the side of Monster Shield, kind of got a bait. Got to get a real serious bait where Superman and Marja just god flank.
Well, ever since they had that disastrous fight, they haven't been doing too poorly. They've actually caught up in gold. Well, not caught up completely, but they've been catching up in gold. And in comes the Metamorphosis. Not really sure what it got done there. In fact, he just runs away, so never mind about that one. So we're just going to be hiding in this bush. But yeah, they've been doing some reasonable rotations and taking advantage of the fact that Sora has been constantly up near where Superman is to try to cut him off. Speaking of Sora, he's going to try to get out of here. Actually, doesn't have anything to his side. Sora's taking a lot of damage. Is able to jump up out of there, but flicker over from the Mars trying to take him out here. And the Shining Light finishes him off from way. Great play here from MS, cutting down that bug.
Fighting game, the fighting game meme of like the dude pointing to his head. You don't have to bait them in if they bait themselves. Like, that's literally what that is right there.
I think that's
like
I think that's
Eddie
Murphy actually.
No, that's not Eddie Murphy.
I'm pretty sure it's Eddie Murphy, isn't it?
No,
the one the black guy pointing at his head.
The black guy, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Eddie
famously
Murphy.
That's not Eddie Murphy. That's not Eddie Murphy.
Okay, anyway, they take the Abyssal Dragon. We'll Google this later. In comes the big Dark Dominion. Sora getting extremely low again. Mori taking a lot of damage, going to go down. And one I don't believe has Dark Ghost Walk. He's going to try to heal up, but he can't do so. And that's 3 members down on the side of MS. They do take the Abyssal Dragon, but not worth, in my opinion. And they're going to potentially lose this tower as well if someone doesn't rotate right now. Ohm being cheeky again, and I believe in taking the buff. We can't see it right now. Yeah, he's trying to take it. Gets Temporal Turbulence on, but that's okay because he has more Morphosis as well. But cheeky old Ohm just taking all the buffs for his side. MG might be in a little bit of trouble. Uses ultimate to try to get out of there. And I don't believe he should have stuck around because Bevel might be able to... Well, he's really greedy. Okay, that was lots of greed. And he might have just killed Only as well. Oh my goodness. Superman's greed just had made it so that 2 people died there. He tried to kill Sora.
It's all about MG, man. It is all about MG on these weird plays.
He could have run away, but he's like, no, I'm going to kill him 1v2. Especially when Omen's sticking around and has the Death Embrace. Feels bad. In any case, they're going to try to hold on to this tower, but it's a lot of damage coming in between Bevel and Ronan. And they take that down with ease and rotate on towards the middle of the map. Oh, excuse me, the opposing jungle, trying to take out this Sage Golem. MS trying to defend it, but with 5 members here, I don't believe they can. Ghostwall comes out. Big Dark Dominion comes in. I don't know if they want to take this fight, though, but that's a big Temporal Turbulence. Mori's going to pay for it with his life as the Metamorphosis comes out. As I say, that's 2 members from Matt actually die, both Sora and Bevel, as they were too far into the fight. MG trying to get some work done. Misses on Ronan. Can he get the kill? Actually gets the laser eyes onto him and able to take him out. So 3 for 1 for MS. I was looking at the top of the fight, but looks like Mori was absolutely doing his job, distracting 3 members. Because I saw him going down. All of a sudden at the bottom of the screen, apparently MS was busy killing 2. And pause. You dead? Is that fight too much for you? Hello? Your mic's muted. I see it on Discord. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Source. He has muted his mic on Discord. He doesn't want to be heard. He's hiding in his shell. In any case, this game is kind of nuts. Neither team wants to hold on to a lead. Or, I suppose MS never had a lead, but they don't want to continue to catch up. Because both sides seem to just... Right when they seem to have some momentum going, they just throw their bodies onto the other team and die a lot. As it's going, normal team fights, which are not centered on the Abyssal Dragon, which starts off as the 6th member of MAD, doing a lot of damage to MS, as long as the team fight doesn't start off in that particular fashion, then MS has won. So, if you look at it that way, even down gold, they've won these fights, as long as they're not getting pummeled by the Abyssal Dragon. So, going forward, it seems like Monster Shield has a slight advantage as far as the team fights are concerned. But it'll certainly be up to the execution of each player. Looks like Matt has requested a pause here. Probably a disconnect from one of the other players. And we'll see how this is resolved. I don't know what's going on with the source. He suddenly decided to mute his mic. Alright, back into the game. So, MS is going to go ahead and take the Abyssal Dragon for the spoils after that 3-for-1. It's not quite the Enraged Abyssal Dragon, so they're not going to have that to their name. Now, they are down pretty far in the towers. They've only secured 1 for themselves, but they've dropped 4. And their second mid-ground tower is extremely low in health, as you can see. But they've nearly caught up in gold. And right now, just hovering around this Dark Slayer. Now, in 15 seconds, the Enraged Abyssal Dragon will be right back up. So they need to be cognizant of that, especially because Omen's starting to push into the bottom lane here. So multiple members congregating around the center. Ohm has that Metamorphosis. Looks like he might have to pop it here as he's getting aggressed on by multiple members. But Omen is back in the bottom, which Superman has to match. Getting this Sage Golem here for only to try to give him that extra cooldown speed. But unbeknownst to MS, Sor is soloing the Abyssal Dragon here, and he looks like he's going to be able to take it. So pretty big blunder here from MS. They were pretty even as far as gold and experience was concerned. So certainly could have taken that fight if they were wise to it. Now, they perhaps noticed that a few seconds before it was getting taken and decided to lay off, but certainly at the beginning of that they were not aware, or else they would have been over there beforehand. Now, only? Well, there's a big bush party in the bottom here. MG going to try to hold on to this bottom wave. Sora's going to jump on him after the Death's Embrace comes up. But MG doing a really good job of staying alive. That said, he does go down in the end. So good pick off here from Mad. But MS is going to be on the chase. In comes Only. Is he going to be able to get much done? Mori and Ohm are having a little fight here as Sora's taking out this red buff. But looks like MS has given up on the chase, especially because the side of Mad has that Abyssal buff to their side. Now keep in mind, about 30 seconds after this Abyssal buff wears off, Sor will have that Dark Blessing wear off on him as well, so he will be vulnerable. As I say that, he picks up Omni Arms. Very interesting this game because we're only 11 minutes 30 into the game. People don't really have all that much gold, especially Sor, who is currently tied for 3rd on his team. But lots of damage coming onto Ohm. He does have the Metamorphosis if things go awry. Now, MS's Only does now pick up the Fafnir's Talon, which does allow him a lot more attack speed. Gonna get that ultimate off a lot quicker in this particular situation as the Abyssal buff wears off. MS not doing a great job of keeping tabs on that bottom lane as multiple members are pushing in. Looks like I'm going to try to use this opportunity to take the Dark Slayer while multiple members on bot. But they are going to almost guaranteed lose a bottom ground tower as Superman is taking the long route to get there. As look, he's going to try to save this. Death Embrace comes onto him, pushes multiple members out. Sora is actually going to die to the tower, but that's okay because Bevel is still there. He's going to take the tower, and they have to be back, or else Bevel's going to kill the tower by himself. Only is going to be there, but that means that they get cleaned up on the top side of the map. Mad actually kills both Wei and One, because they had to back off in order to deal with the threat on the bottom side of the map. And this is just complete mismanagement of this game by Monster Shield.
I kid you not, my dog was attacking the mailman. That is not a joke. That is fact. So, I apologize for having to step away momentarily.
You didn't even say be right back though, so it's like what's happening?
No, I just muted and went. You were in the middle of the statement. I was just like, no. It'll be fine. He'll pick it up.
Well, I thought that you accidentally had your mic muted, and I was like, are you trying to talk right now? I thought you were trying to talk the entire time. Like, anyway, MS is bungling this. That's the that's the recap of what happened while you were gone. They keep letting Omen push the bottom in, and they respawn too late, which warps the map down, and then they die because they have numbers disadvantage. It's not good.
No, that is not a good. That is, oy.
Yeah, oy vey.
Oy vey.
So
Okay,
yeah, they had 5 members.
Let me like taking these items and whatnot. Ronin, that Valheim build.
It's okay. He's fine. He just builds in the Clava Sancta. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he's got deeps.
MG getting extremely low, but so is Bevel. Bevel a little bit more. You probably going
to rights.
No, he's Omen. He's fine.
They left.
Well, they have to defend the core.
They shouldn't have left.
Well, they have to defend the core.
Dead. But like, they're never making it back there. Oh,
or are they?
That was good.
Metamorphosis comes out. Mori trying to get something done, but the Dark Dominion not going to do much there. And everyone survives, and the tower goes down. So, another win here for Mad. Yeah, again, MS, even though it seemed like they're coming back into the game, they just keep bungling map positioning. And not going too well for them. Well, Ronin might be caught out here, but he's fairly tanky, like we were mentioning earlier. Taking a lot of damage from 1. Ohm is the same. Doesn't have Metamorphosis quite yet. He's 1 more shield or auto attack to get that. And he's actually going to... Oh, barely gets it off in time. And he might be able to barely survive. That's actually huge for them. Oh my goodness, the bait was real. Not sure if it was a bait, but ended up being so in the end. And that is just devastating if you are MS, as a huge minion wave is coming up on the bottom side, which means Sora might be able to solo this Abyssal Dragon once again. And that is the thing that happened while you were gone.
I mean, they've got a lot of lives. Gonna add more lives. Gonna eventually just kind of dive. This feels like the death march forward for Mad. The only way I see a real amazing play coming is Mori gets off a godly Dark Dominion, and there is a full combo of just everything from the rest of the side of MS. So it's an uphill battle. Maybe if they catch somebody out, but they had the chance to catch out Bevel, and I don't think they were making it back to that high ground tower in time. So you're just better off take the kill, regain the space, because that tower went down anyway.
Right. I think they thought their core was going to die. That's why they went back. And it might have, actually, if they weren't there. So
I think you could have. I think Wei could have kept chasing. I think you could have left Liliana to continue chasing. She would have gotten the kill. You would have then been up the advantage. It would have been a 4v4 on the high ground. I think you could have been okay.
Well, we are all on to this last little push here. By the way, Crash already has his ultimate backup. He builds Rage so much faster now. It's so good, but so bad at the same time. In any case, Shunyi, speaking of extra lives, has just picked up Arctic Orb, so everyone gets an extra life right now. And they're starting to push on to this tower. In comes a Flicker, Dark Dominion onto 4, but that is the Metamorphosis to push everyone right back. One's going to go ahead and die. Mori's in trouble as well. They're below the tower with no minions. Big pushback from MG. And Wei trying to save under the tower, but he could be in trouble. Has to flicker away, but he's going to pay for it with his life. But with 1 minion under the tower, this is going to be game. And Mad pushes away MS right into the bottom of the standings.
And, I mean, MS, they've shown, I would say, growth on the whole.
It seemed like they got worse.
Know, maybe.
It seemed like they got worse as this series went on. I don't know. That first game?
They did, and I think that might be the fatigue you were talking about. Like, because it went 3 games, I'm willing to admit that there could definitely be some fatigue there.
Yeah. I think their natural instincts aren't the greatest, and they've been working to improve, but it hasn't become ingrained yet.
Yeah.
They've been practicing, trying to get better, but it hasn't become second nature to them. And that's the issue. Whereas J-Team, it's like super second nature to them. And even something like Flash Wolves, I would say. So yeah, they need to continue to improve. I think if they do continue to improve, that does become second nature and they have a bit of potential. But yeah, they definitely seem to their play just lowered as the series went on. They were doing a really good job in the first game. Definitely running away from Soar, even though they had 2 very vulnerable characters. But from then, especially that last game, just right when you went to deal with your dog, they just left the entire bottom lane open. They let the opposing team get the Abyssal Dragon, and they just lost a team fight because they were fighting 3v4, because it started as a 5v3, but then Superman had to deal with 2 people pushing in bot, and then Superman died, and then the tower died, and then Omen was facing the core by himself, which is not a good sign if you're the opposing team. So another person had to go, and then it was just disarray. So yeah, as we said, MS needs to just tighten up those holes. Whatever those cliches are, just, you know, smooth out those edges, and they will be in a lot better shape. That said, after our 2 bottom teams, we are going to be having 2 of our top teams coming up next. Well, I guess SMG isn't necessarily that, as far as the standings are concerned.
They're bringing it back.
But they are fan favorites. They are former GCS champions, so certainly can't count them out. And this is a very important match for them, as they're going to be going against the Flash Wolves, who are currently a half game out of first. So you do not want to go anywhere. Once this interview comes up, we're just going to let it run, and we will go to the break. Anything we want to say about Mad versus MS before we hop on out for the break?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I got ganked by my dog. That's about it.
Well, see how that works out in this next game. But MS, well, we wish the best to them in PvP esports as they go off against Alpha X in the next game. Interesting the way they set
that may end up being good for them. Like that may end up being good for them to go off and go play somewhere else for a bit.
Yeah,
and like
not deal with these freaking Taiwanese teams. Although Alpha
X get some confidence.
Well, okay, they're going off against Alpha X, who's a Thai team, and I don't know why Alpha X's logo has a Japanese below it. It says Arufa Gang, which doesn't make any sense. Anyway, the Alpha X team might be actually really good because they had to go through a qualifier in which the winner won $18,000. So certainly there's a lot of competition for that. And they also won the group stage where they defeated all of the top teams from MSP. So Monster Shield and Alpha X might be a pretty good match if you guys are watching that. The rest, although I would say that one of those teams is going to win, because other than that, I don't really see. I mean, maybe Tamago or Resurgence, but the MSP region has been historically kind of weak. But yeah. I'm just waiting for them to get to this interview. And I also want a buff. Do you want a buff? I want a buff.
I want a buff.
I wonder what the difference in taste is between the Sage buff and the Might buff. And do they call it Sage buff and Might buff? Did they make it specifically for this game?
Do they?
Mm.
Good question.
Because it's red and blue. It's kind of suspicious. They might have made it for this game. This game is pretty big in Taiwan.
I mean, I'm telling you, man. We need the guys over the GCS to like our work. I need to know what a buff tastes like.
Okay, it looks like they're going to have an interview with good old Soar, who deserves it, and we will be right back after the break. Should be about 10 minutes from now that we'll be back. See you guys in a bit.
蛮有可能出的啊，因为我们自己用发掘，其实虽然只有1-2天的准备期，但是这角色是真的蛮强势。
蛮强势。那在在底下看到选手们面对古墓的时候，有稍微觉得有点头疼吗？这只角色？
是真的还蛮头疼的，因为没办法处理掉他，其实很难越过他的阵型去打后面的。 射手
是，那之后的话 ，Mating 有机会会出到古墓这支英雄吗？
肯定是有的，
肯定是有的。那其他队伍可能要小心一点喽。那另外就是第一场的话，可能就是在选择上面以及就是选手表现上面可能落败了。那教练到了对战室里头，要面对第2场中间的时候，有稍微跟选手们交代什么事情吗？有没有什么心灵上面的抚慰？
就是平常心去面对比赛吧，因为我们这周的团练真的表现得很不错。
哦，原来是这样，觉得他们能够发挥出团练的，就是期望的话，就可以赢得胜利吗？
对，因为有时候他们都太心急了吧，可能真的很渴求那个胜利。
是，就像可能宇翔太冲的话，可能会捏一下他肩膀吗？
非常频繁，
非常频繁。是的，那另外今天的话，可以看到有就以及若琳2位选手登场，想请教练来谈谈看这2位选手在 Mating 里头的话，风格的差异在哪里？
乔的话是他的风格是比较激进的，他是打线比较凶猛，但是算经验上也是比较老道，但稳定性的话是不如若琳。对。
了解，所以若琳的话，可能在团队上面的稳定性，可能在第一把输了之后，把它换上的话，可能有士气提升的感觉吗？
因为第一场的话，他们感觉有点失常，就是大家在沟通上感觉是特别的急啊，很急躁，整个队伍。那我希望说他可以让他们比较稳定下来，感觉
是的，谢谢教练。那我们接下来来访问一下我们的选手宇翔了，宇翔。 特别想提到，就是赛前访问的时候有一支影片，就是你有提到，就希望今天 Mating 对上 MS 的时候可以发挥像平常团练的效果。那自己到了 Mating 之后，你觉得队伍的风格经过了第1循环到了第2循环有什么样的差别吗？
就我觉得大家都非常努力吧，因为毕竟我刚进来，我们还要磨合，
是，
然后我也觉得我们说真的进步了很多，对啊，因为团练。 一开始说真的就都输啊，然后现在
好诚实，
现在就是基本上赢的层面还蛮多的，
蛮多的。那对你刚刚教练说你太冲这件事情，有没有想要就是说几句话，还是觉得对不起团队，我就是太冲了？
对我就是太气了。
了解。那另外还有提到就是在比赛当中，你很喜欢去驻麦基那条线路上面，是为什么呢？
因为 BB 玩防守的话，我会觉得我可以多帮他拿一点优势，让他弱势边比较不会那么难守。然后让他进攻的话，因为刚好夜叉打超人嘛，所以夜叉只要关到，基本上我去就可以杀掉。对。
了解，所以多方面的会去尝试一下凯撒路线路的。是。那另外还可以看到的话，今天3场的话，宇翔都有拿出射手以及刺客，但 这次的刺客的话，选择是科里纳卡，而不是以往的可能纳克罗斯或莫拉。为什么会下这样的决定呢？
因为现在我觉得比较偏打团吧，更何况莫拉跟纳克的容错率就是比较低，对，所以我觉得科里纳卡其实 打团很强很多，然后容错率也不会那么低，不会那么低，对。
了解，那希望那天的话，在面对其他队伍的时候，也可以就是拿下非常多的胜利的，甚至可以要到了就是进军到了季后赛的名字里头了。那谢谢2位接受我的访问。那我们等一下休息一下，下一个对决就是 SMG 对上闪电狼喽。
Come on. No need a break for me. Come on. No need a cry for me. No need to run. This is my own place. No one's gonna break me.
开车的时候有 Airwaves 在手，随时随地让你觉醒一下。
其实可以看到说这一场跟上一场不一样的地方，就是瑞倒下2次。其实虽然在第1次的时候 HK 没有做到事，哇塞，
这个百步穿杨，
这太夸张了吧！
你不要闹啦！
这个炸下去，我当时到底看了什么？
勇还是可以持续拉到一个很好的位置，加上此级进场虽然有跳跃到了位置身上，但还是只能往这边拉开距离。啊，这时间绑到的是勇。可以来得及吗？后面的话 SMG 其他成员全部都跟上的情况下，这一波乱打是带掉了2名成员，连 Neo 也跟着倒。其实最后一下成功带掉，是打出了一波1换3了。
不会有太多，然后在经济上面的掠夺，输的那一方也不会亏太惨。
是，开启大绝了，是在 Neo 身上，但这边那克鲁斯已经来关在塔下，这个塔关的相当好，于中间又瞬移离开了，但最后手上最先拿到手中，回头再斩掉了这一只甲虫，拿到一波 double kill， 海牛直接握拳头，赞啊兄弟！
其实在这一波看到是，
对这一波哇，地狱雷鸣一炸爆的情况下。陈队这个下去还是没办法拯救到冰封，哇，连 Rain 也跟着击杀掉了，最后这怎么逃？这边想拉也没有办法，兰特打出了一波，
兰特这跳得漂亮。这边是压力，而且这边直接被绑到了，
对，但是
绑到了不理他，
哇，来得及吗？
天啊！然后这边我绑到了之后，我直接就是不理你，
太夸张了！
各位挑战者们，大家好，欢迎收看《传说新闻快报》，我是今天的主播巨汉。全球首例，台湾彩券将与电竞结合，推行传说对决刮刮乐，中奖、虚宝、公益3个愿望一次满足。那我们就把现场交给特派记者，很热。 是的，主播，8月17日起将开始贩售传说对决刮刮乐，总共有4款样式，每张售价为200元。每张传说对决刮刮乐皆附赠1组虚宝兑换序号，让你中奖、公益、虚宝3个愿望一次满足。但是要特别注意的是，未满18岁的挑战者们是不可以购买以及兑领彩券的哦。民众每购买1张刮刮乐，皆可以发挥公益彩券热心助人的本质。台湾彩券公司邀请大家一起买彩券、做公益、积功德。除了50个头奖50万元的高额奖金外，传说对决刮刮乐张张都有虚宝序号。要如何获得这款全球限量的刮刮乐呢？请看刮刮乐达人阿热的特别介绍。大家好，我是刮刮乐达人阿热。当你购买传说对决刮刮乐，你会在上面看到你的号码以及幸运号码。当刮开你的号码对中幸运号码的时候，就可以获得号码下面的奖金喽！大家一起去刮刮乐做公益吧！另外，最下方的传说对决游戏序号，刮开即可获得游戏虚宝，将有机会可以获得永久英雄、拉兹、图伦、艾里、永久造型、一拳超神、鹰吹雪、星海之霸或其他各种超值虚宝。头奖奖金50万元，张张送虚宝，全台限量发行，数量有限，售完为止。想失手气，要抢要快哦！以上是今天的传说新闻快报，感谢你的收看，我们下次见。
接受了来自深渊的血脉，用恶魔的力量对抗恶魔。我们是猎魔者，猎杀一切来自深渊的黑暗生物，是猎魔者与生俱来的使命。一直以来，我们保护着人类，并享有着他们的尊敬。那是我们最荣耀的时代。然而，堕落者的出现，让人们对猎魔者产生了质疑。我们在战场上用剑和血证明了与深渊的势不两立，许多人就此死去。人存活下来的人，需要继续顽强地活下去。尽管这个称号已不复存在，但我从未忘记猎魔者这个身份背后的荣耀与使命。黑暗降临之处，皆为无知战场。In buff. In buff. In buff. In buff, we trust. Buff 能量饮料，含花青素双效登场。
Come on, no need to break for me. Come on, no need to cry for me. No need to run. This is my own place. No one's gonna break me.
各位亲爱的。
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the GCS IMD2. With me is the Source, and we have our matchup of the day between Flash Wolves and SMG coming up next. How do you like this matchup coming up next, Source?
I'm excited to see whether or not SMG's got a little bit of fight in them, whether or not they can take a game away from the Flash Wolves, because they're a team on the rise. I don't see them winning this series, but taking it to 3 games, getting at least 1 point in their favor. That's more than a lot of teams could expect.
I don't believe this league is based on points. I think that's RPO.
No. I think the GCS still has points. It's still the point. It still matters.
Oh, it matters.
It does come down. It does come down to series, but because they're coming, so because of the schedule they have, and because they're chasing one team, the maps matter when they get closer and closer to tiebreakers. And with their matchup, their opponents effectively get easier from here. Flash Wolves is their hardest opponent left. They have to play Hong Kong Attitude, they have to play AHQ, they have to play Mad, and they have to play 1. And they have to play Monster Shield. So like this right here is their strongest opponent, and and then AHQ is also definitely up there. So if they take 1 game here, that's good for them. They take a game, they make it a fight. They don't, they go down swinging. They then go into their match against HKA in a position of, okay, this is a much more even fight for us. We can use this to catapult ourselves, catch up to 1. Then they play Mad. They stomp Mad. Then they play AHQ. They've come off of good games and good wins. Maybe they beat AHQ. Maybe they only take a game there, and then they play 1. And it's all about getting them, or they play Monster Shield. Like, they have really a great schedule to, like, get a confidence boost before playing difficult matches. And if they can just pick up a game here, that in my opinion, is the confidence boost.
All I'm hearing is disrespect. So much disrespect for SMG,
what disrespect?
who just defeated J Team. They don't want 1 game. They want a 2-0. These suckers.
They're not going to 2-0 Flash Wolves.
Yeah, but
I don't think their drafting is good enough for that.
Okay.
I think that J Team did some stupid drafting and opened things up for SMG to play their best, and SMG had the crowd behind them.
Okay.
SMG totally had the crowd behind them. There's that one surly J-Team fan sitting there in the crowd, and she was not happy with their performance, whereas everybody from SMG was losing their goddamn minds.
Okay, but there's a big difference between what you predict will happen and how SMG is feeling. There's no way SMG comes out of here with a 1-2 loss and feels good about themselves. They want every series win, especially when it's coming down to the wire, and they need every series win, and they just beat J-Team.
No, I still think they understand how important that win was.
You clearly have not played, and you clearly have not played competitive anything. If that's how you feel.
No, I'm not saying that a loss is gonna feel. I'm not saying that a loss is gonna feel good, but they definitely know that the game against J Team was a magic moment. If they think that they are suddenly gods.
They don't think they're gods. They're competitive though, and they won. They won season 1, and they got to the finals of season 2. And by the way, they were
Flash Wolves has been. My point is, Flash Wolves has been an incredibly dominant team, and SMG has not shown that. If SMG walks out of this series with a close 2-1, I don't think necessarily they'll be happy, but they'll at least have the confidence to know, okay, we beat J Team, and we're going toe-to-toe with Flash Wolves. We can totally take HKA. We can totally take AHQ. We will crush Mad. We will crush Monster Shield.
Why not just beat why not just beat Flash Wolves then?
I mean, they could beat Flash Wolves, but I think that's highly unlikely. And if they're going into it, like, you don't want to go into a match thinking you're gonna lose, but you don't go into a match thinking that you're going to wreck, confidently beat with no possibility of losing.
You're taking extremes for no real reason. I'm feeling like it's like they either think they're going to lose or they're going to dominate. There's a competitive aspect where we think we can beat them. There's not. They don't think they're going to destroy them, but they think they can beat them.
My point was more if they take that 1 game off them, or if this series at least they take this series to 3 games, then they're not going to be in a situation of, oh wow, that our match against J Team was a fluke. We clearly can't stand at the top. Like, that's kind of where my mentality is at. If you see what I'm saying, like they have a good series here, and they're gonna go into their remaining matches with the confidence to start building their way into a playoff spot.
Okay, having played competitive tennis my whole life and having been a former Hearthstone pro, you want to win. And you don't care. You're not looking. No. Shh. You don't really. You're not thinking about what happens after this. You're thinking about what happens right now. And we could talk about the after effects.
I'm not saying they're thinking that. I'm saying that is my expected result. Is if they make this a good match, even if they lose, I expect them to continue to move forward and to progress towards a playoff position. If they get crushed here, I think they might start to falter. That was it. Wasn't about what they're thinking; it's how I expect the results to be.
Okay,
that's a better way of phrasing what I was getting at.
Okay, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves because they need to play each other. Anyway.
Yes.
SMG trying to build on the momentum they had when they just beat the first team of the league last time we saw them.
Yeah, those were great games. Like that final, that Omen play was godly. And the Omen ban for like Omen is good, but Flash was probably like, all right, we're not going to give them that opportunity to do that again.
All right. Well, speaking of doing that again, out goes the Necroth, which we've seen some pretty good play from Chi-Chi on. So that goes out. And lots of come on SMGs on the phones here. If you were at an esports event and you had one thing to show on your phone for the camera, what would it be?
What event am I at? So I'm a meme very differently at a League event than I am at a Heroes event.
Okay, whoever your favorite team is in any game.
I'm gonna be rooting for Team Liquid. It's gonna be League of Legends, and they're gonna be playing TSM, and my phone is just gonna say Free SM, which is an old double lift meme at TSM. He beat TSM once. He beat TSM once, and it was just explaining the victory. And was like, "Yeah, no, it was just Free SM."
Nice. All right. So we're starting off. It looks like with a Chognar, which we didn't see all last game, and I was kind of getting upset about it.
I think a lot of that came down to the support decision. Like, I feel like the supports weren't comfortable playing it, and it was all about playmaking in the last game. But Yebeneth has made it through, and Moria had some top tier Yebeneth play. So I want to see more Yebeneth. I want to see. I feel like that's a really good, like, with how powerful Yebeneth is as a side laner and as a like from that role. That's a really good barometer to see how good a player is if given the opportunity to do so, and how good teams aren't following up on aggression. Because Yebeneth is just stupid aggressive. Like, I think he's a really great character to just add to where the meta is right now. Because he's not straight countered by Chognar, but like, you know, like all the other side laners have got Chognar issues.
Yeah. Well. On top of the Yebeneth, we have the Liliana taken as well, and as we've come to discover, it's the Raz Liliana show, so that leaves Flash Wolves with probably an inferior mage in the middle. Now they're hovering over this Crickneck, and that does narrow the opportunities here for SMG as far as what they can choose with their particular jungler, because the Necroth isn't there. And you're looking potentially at a Murad who, in the last series we saw, had a bit of trouble. Though that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this time. As we take a look at Liang here on our screen, what are SMG going to take in response to Xenial, Crickneck? The Crickneck in particular.
Yeah, now that you've seen the Crickneck, going for a marksman jungler feels like a dangerous play. They have now shown a pretty solid dueling front line, and I would prefer picking Lindis over Violet, because I feel like she's gonna get away she's more likely to get away if you're getting a good fight in the jungle. You're not waiting on a tactical fire, you just gotta get to a bush. So there might be opportunity there. Yeah, I want to see where teams go over time, because you were talking about the Murad and versus the Crickneck, and it feels like what you were saying with the mages, like it's a two-mage show. It's kind of a two-assassin jungler show, and whoever shows the assassin jungler first kind of makes the enemy jungler be like, do I really want to go a marksman? But I'm okay with the Lindis as long as they get something else good up in that front line as the final pick. Mina is still available, so that could be an option for them. It isn't a Chognar, so that's a bit of a concern. So
I'm less okay with the Lindis. I find it very strange that we're going to get through a draft without seeing a Violet. So, but speaking of marksman, wait, really, you're gonna pick Yorn over Violet? Come on,
do it, do it.
Oh my goodness, we've seen Yorn. We've seen Yorn from Flash Wolves before.
I'm totally okay with this. It's a really good shred answer to the Yebeneth. Once you throw, not even a matter of getting the Curse of Death, but just Fafnir's talent is the first item that comes out from most Yorn builds. It's a really good answer to Yabaneth throughout the entirety of the game. It makes all of that periphery health that the Kilgroth builds up a little bit less valuable. Whatever this last defensive pick is, either it ends up being support Yabaneth or another set. So support Yabaneth, that's what this is probably going to end up being for Genji. He's going to run into a little bit less value. The Superman runs into a little bit less value. You protect that Yorn, and that man is a wood chipper to tanks. So I'm okay with it because I feel like Flash Wolves is good enough to protect him. The Flash, sure, she plays a decent Flash. She can do what he wants.
This is really interesting here from Flash Wolves because they have a very like opposite composition. They have part of their composition is protect the carry, part of the composition is dive, which makes sense in a way if you think about it, because you get the heat off of Yorn, and then SMG wonders how they all died, and it turns out that Yorn was shooting them the entire time. So it's gonna be kind of this hybrid dive, hybrid protect the carry from both sides, it seems. Because both sides will be trying to get to the back line and trying to take out the Yorn and the Linus respectively, while also trying to protect those respective heroes.
What I want to see from Flash Wolves to make this composition work is really Angelic Splendor should almost always go on the Cricknack. Cricknack goes in, Angelic Splendor is instantly there to fall. He starts to get damage reduction from the beginning of that fight. The heal is going to come in, and once Cricknack really gets onto a target, or at least once he's just kind of messed around in the back line, it makes it so the rest of the team can very easily follow up. It also means that the Flash is a little bit safer when he goes in for a Cyclone play because he knows that Angelic Splendor is coming down. The Yorn is probably going to stay on the periphery of that, but maybe even does get a little dicey, gets in the fight. Chognar's in there as well. Like, it feels like that's really where you set the dive, is it's Angelic Splendor onto the Cricknack dive. On the other side from SMG, kind of gotta catch him before that happens. Gotta put pressure on somebody before the chaos protection really saves any given target.
Sorry, I couldn't mute my mic in time for that. But yeah, interesting that the start here from the side of Flash Wolves with Wayne and Heroes both using their punish on the same monster there to try to get as quickly as possible. That will give Wayne level 4 extremely quickly. Instead of a gank before, SMG might not be fully prepared for it. And we'll see how they're able to cope with that. We saw Genji scouting out the fact that they were really quick with that. And Genji's going to try to make something happen. Goes with the Redwood Rush, pushes Ron back. This is a very interesting support fight, by the way, because neither of these heroes have, on command, very good CC. So it's just a bunch of just poking back and forth like this, like you see. But big branching out comes back here from Genji. And he's doing a lot of damage. That is so much damage from a support player. And Chi-Chi's got to back off.
Yeah, I mean, sideline Yabaneth is one thing, but have you ever supported Yabaneth from a side bush to 2v1 at level 2? Because Genji's putting on some pressure. And that's incredibly useful to them because now they know that Genji can kind of bully a little bit. As long as he gets tanky enough, he should be okay. Spirit Sentinel going to go to Chi-Chi. Yeah, Chi-Chi managed to grab that, so SMG kind of matching things up so far. See Soul Reaver for both of them. Okay.
By the way, pro tip, if you're playing against a Yabaneth, do not clump up. It actually makes it easier for him to kill you. I've had people try to gate me and I just killed both of them because it allows you to slap them together and stun them. So it's like, oh, thanks. I actually get more red rushes now. Thanks for clumping up for me. I appreciate it. You're easy prey. So yeah. Pro tip for you guys. Ron taking a bit of damage from that Blinding Light, Shining Light combo. Bunch of heroes is hiding in the bush. It's a good old bush party here from SMG. And things are just kind of moving along. No one really wants to take this Abyssal Dragon as it is fraught with peril.
Yeah, it's a dangerous opportunity, or it's a dangerous prospect for both of them, with neither finding a really good opportunity to make anything happen. So we are seeing the junglers continuing to just clear out as many waves as possible. SMG continuing pulling that just to maybe they're starting it. Genji is putting a little bit of damage down there.
I think he's feigning it. He's like, if you don't come, we'll take it. If you do come, we can walk away. and at least we're making it look like we're starting it just to make you worry a bit. And perhaps, you know, Crickneck misses a monster because he needs to rotate, something like that. In any case, Genji being annoying, slapping things together. He's a slappy boy. Hanzo misses on the blinding light. Tries to jump in for a little bit of damage there. Wayne pops the drone drop, which means he won't have it for 10 seconds after he lands. In comes the Reiki shot, not going to land most likely because Flash is the fastest man alive, though not after this current patch. Going to be slower than Batman. Feels Batman. In any case, Ice Fang.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Sorry, my aside comment right there. In any case, Ice Fang is going to have to walk away from the top here, which means that, oh, he tries to use the hard shot, but not going to be nearly in time as it easily goes the way of SMG. And SMG looking pretty good so far, though we've seen in the past Cricknecks make comebacks.
Yeah, Flash should honestly have the fastest base movement speed in the game. I'm sorry.
Nerf something else if you're going to nerf him. Like, come on.
Yeah, nerf something else. Like, he's Barry Allen. He's the fastest man alive. He's not the fastest character in the game. That is some false advertising. Like that man needs to be sued for false practices by the FCC. Like, that's just not okay.
The developers don't know the backstory. They're like, let's remove. Why is he at 400 speed again? That's too much.
I hazard that they don't. I hazard that it's not on their priority list. But so far, kind of a bit of a slow game. Neither team wanting to engage. SMG not looking for their opportunity here in the top. Rana's up there, as well as having Shishi in the waiting the wings. They'll clear out the waves. SMG not feeling confident in the dive, even with Wayne very, very far away from that. So now Wayne looking at a mid lane opportunity, possibly. No, not really feeling confident about that either.
Well, 4-man rotating over to the top here. Most of the minions are dead, though, so that could be problematic. But they are trying to push out Ice Fang, and he's taking a lot of damage. Just get Chaos Protected, but that doesn't mean he's going to be surviving with his life. Genji taking a lot of that damage from the tower by using his Nature's Realm. Very, very well done here by SMG. Taking not that much damage and securing themselves a kill, so very nice for them. But I say that, and in comes Wayne, but he gets pushed back by the Redwood Rush at the exact wrong time, and TC's going to go ahead and take him out. But as I say that, Flash goes in, jumps in, takes out one, gets damaged by Hanzo. In comes the Reiki shot, but he is way too fast for that one, it appears. And that ends up with a 1-for-1 after that initial kill. SMG still retaining a lead.
I like the attempt from Wayne to make that play. Like, it was the right kind of play to make. Team just wasn't close enough. They needed to be a little bit closer in there to just instantly burst through a target because heal comes out from Genji and keeps somebody alive. Now that transitions into a second objective going over the members of SMG, and this is a pretty solid early game for them. We'll see what happens once we get a little bit deeper into some of these team fights. But so far, they are showing the same level of play that they beat J-Team with.
Yeah, that was actually really unfortunate for Wayne, though, because... / good play from Genji, because at that exact moment he used Redwood Rush, and it pushed Wayne away, and then all of a sudden he was not where he wanted to be. He drone dropped, and that ability kind of messes with things and pushes you in strange places. So Genji is smelling something. He's smelling something. No, he's like,
broken.
Something over there. Wayne is still holding out here, but he's surrounded by
Discipline.
Oh my god, goes to the Chi Chi. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me with that reaction time? Oh, what? That was insane. Okay, so he goes in. Okay, never mind. Actually, I got confused. I thought that the Xenia was on the other side, but it was actually on the flash holes. But that was good coordination by them to try to get the coordinated kill onto the Chi Chi. Sorry about that overreaction. I thought that the Xenia was on Hanzo's team for a moment. And that would have been insane. So, anyway.
No, but, like, Chi-Chi, I mean, that's that Lindis touch, just touched a bush, just poked the grass with a toe, and got out of there like any other character is dead. Any other marksman is just straight up dead.
Yep, potentially.
That was such good discipline from Wayne, though, like, just to hold there. Just to, like, so many enemy targets around, just to stay in control, not to pull the trigger, and to put himself in a bad position. So it didn't work out, but it was, I attribute some very, very calm play from Wayne there. Just about to do it again.
Genji pokes him with his arm branch thingy. And he's got
Pokes him with a stick. He literally poked him with a stick.
And walked out of there. Well, they're going ahead and trying to take this Abyssal Dragon. No one really in the vicinity other than Ron and Ice Fang here in the bottom lane. Ron trying to make something happen. Goes off with the Energy Surge, but unable to take it down. Goes over to SMG, who now maintain the 3,500 gold lead, which is pretty significant at this point of the game. As they're trying to build that lead, trying to get some damage onto Ron here. He might get away, but that's Reiki shot. Falls just short.
He'll survive momentarily. Kograth underneath the
Liang.
tower. I don't think Liang survives this? Question mark? No. They got him. They got him. They got him? Yeah, they got him. I don't know about heroes doing that damage reduction. Yeah, Serenia putting a lot of pressure there on Nishishi. SMG is taking no prisoners right now. They're doing a very good job of aggressing. What is that Frost Cape Yorn build? Ice Fang, what are you doing?
Doesn't want to die. To the Superman.
Wants that team fight control. I kind of get it with kind of how annoying Genji is with wanting to force the Gorelord out of Liang as quickly as possible, as many things to deter him, as many things to get in his way.
Missing that blinding out was pretty big there from Hanzo. Unfortunately unable to get that, but the beginning of this game was so passive from both sides, but now we're just, the heat has been turned up to 10, and players trying to find multiple kills on multiple fronts. That said, there haven't been that many kills overall, as both teams try to reset a little bit here. The gold lead, despite... Last time I said they were up 3,500. Now they're up 4,000, despite having suffered a kill, or a death, I should say, for SMG. So, looks like they're actually rotating better than their opponents, which is very impressive considering they're going against Flash Wolves. But Ice Fang taking a lot of damage. In comes the hero, try to help him out, but he is going to be dead before anything can happen. Chi-Chi trying to stay alive, getting slowed by multiple heroes, and they're going to take out two. In comes Genji. Can he make something happen? Trying to stay alive. Redwood Rush is back, and it's going to give it all up. I'm very surprised that that's how that turned out. But Wayne's not going to give up. Trying to go on Genji. He can't pop his Redwood Rush fast enough, and down goes Hanzo as well. And Flash Wolves, right when we thought they were getting pushed around, they turn up the heat as they always do and win fights that they shouldn't.
It's the Flash Wolves way. The moment things look bad for them, they're like, we're in a game, aren't we?
Let's get a 4K.
Yeah, it's just...
Is it time?
Like, maybe we should kill them.
Wayne turns to Heroes, who turns to Ice Fang, who turns to Chi-Chi. Is it time for a 4-kill? Yeah, it's time. Let's do it. Boom.
I feel like it's even more innocent than that. It's like, oh yeah, we're playing a game. We should win, right? Yeah, we should win. So they turn things around. They pick up a bunch of kills. They get their first objective. A lot of that gold was coming up the fact that it was 3 Abyssal Dragons to 1 in favor of SMG. Flash Wolves, they never seem to be in a hurry. They're never in a hurry to win the game. They'll win it in their own goddamn time, and you'll like it. Like, it's very controlled. So there's some pressure there on the Genji. Looking at Hanzo, they don't decide to go after him. They keep the damage onto the slightly less mobile tank. But can you really call Yeneth immobile?
Yevheneth? Kind of. It depends.
He's slightly less mobile than a Liliana. Like, it's really that kind of situation. But we got Liang putting pressure onto Ice Fang. He's gonna get the Angelic Splendor, and yeah, he's caught. It looked good for a minute. He thought he could make something happen, but support there onto the Marksman. And now we're gonna see a 2-lane push coming out. Shishi goes underneath the tower, hits Shishi low, chases after him, flickers, pulls him in, gets him with one more punch. Fastest man alive may not be that fast, but he does pack a wallop once he gets to Mach speed. Shishi picks up a kill, walks away. That's a tower down in top. Secondary tower is likely to fall as this Yorn is starting to set up that auto attack siege. They've got 2 people there. Even Wayne going in at low level, low health, just to be able to put in a little bit of pressure.
Genji?
Gonna go low.
Oh, he flickers away.
He almost got him.
Serenia?
Away. That's gonna be
oh my goodness.
Heroes. And just to deter them, they didn't want to dive into that grouping, and it ends up being a 3-tower gain plus a kill off of the first death from Liang. So 2 kills, 3 towers in about 2 minutes in favor of Flash Wolves.
She is just like making so much stuff happen around the back, making so many plays, being so daring. And the funny thing is, the reason why Chi-Chi was there in the first place was because Shishi completely just chunked Hanzo down to 10% health. So Hanzo had to leave, Chi-Chi came back, and he's like, great, I'll kill Chi-Chi then. He just goes in and kills him. Oh my goodness, just Shishi making so much happen, being an utter nuisance for the side of SMG. And the gold is in the fight.
Oh my god, that Superman damage. They've got Wayne. Wayne was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but now Genji taking a little bit of damage.
Shishi?
Dash protection was used. Shishi, he's chasing on a Serenia. He's gonna dash forward, cuts off the angle, is waiting. Doesn't decide to go back. Is gonna stop Liang from pushing up even further. So they'll take the 1 kill on the side of SMG, and Flash Wolves will clear up the lanes. Should be able to maintain all of their remaining towers. Game is pretty dead even.
Hanzo playing with fire a bit there, trying to take out Shishi, but Shishi's not going down without a fight, or a dash, as it were. Things reset a little bit here. SMG regains that gold lead with that nice kill on to Wayne. Now let's see what they can do with that gold lead. 10,000 gold at the side of the gang. He's absolutely chunking people, and he is very tanky in his own right. Now these next objectives is going to be the Dark Slayer, as both teams could aggress onto that. By the way, who took the Enraged Abyssal Dragon?
It was Flash Wolves. Their first Abyssal Dragon was the Enraged Abyssal Dragon.
Okay.
At like 10 minutes.
Right. Okay. Well, in any case, Chi-Chi does pick up the Muramasa, your favorite item in the game, even though it's after Rank Breaker. So just making us both mad at this point. But anyway, that all aside. It looks like Crickneck is going for full damage build. He's going to defend Fenrir's Tooth right now. So literally just one drone drop will probably kill Hanzo or Chi-Chi, which is pretty terrifying, but at the same time he's extremely vulnerable. I have played this exact build that he's building before, and yeah, you destroy people, but you are also extremely squishy. So this is going to be just walking on thin ice for both teams right now. In case Ron takes a lot of damage.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I've played it before, and it's just like it's very tight. It's like what? That's a tightrope walk. In any case, trying to push in this tower, Shishi, and Ice Fang have it covered. Looks like Wayne's taking a bit of damage from Liang. He's going to get chased off here, but in comes the support here from Heroes trying to save him. Wayne gets that Angelic Splinter healing, but Hondo takes him out with that Fox snipe. And in comes Chi-Chi trying to take out Heroes as well. So that is a 2 kill here for the side of SMG. Meanwhile, Genji protecting the dragon, making sure that no one takes it in the meantime. And Shishi goes down as well, and Flash Wolves is falling apart. And this is why having such a vulnerable build here from Wayne is not the greatest unless you can take advantage of your lethalness, and he certainly did not do it there.
Yeah, honestly just gotta cut your losses. Like you lose the Crickneck, okay, that sucks, but he's not part of your high ground defense. Just don't lose more members as Ice Fang gets caught under tower. Liang don't care.
He's just taking tower damage.
Yeah. Liang is basically a full build. No, he is a full build. I mean, there's some minor things.
Hold on, are they going to finish the game right now?
They should if they get the opportunity. They need to go Ron. They need to go Heroes. Those two can kind of burst.
Core's dead.
One hit.
That was a narrow window
for that cannon minion. They had to kill the cannon minion, and
they just
Heroes started channeling ultimate, and it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that. I thought they could have the game, but I figured that Flash Wolves would be able to defend better, but they just didn't. They just ran away, and that's not what you do.
That's one of those moments. That's moments where you check your opponent. It's like, you gonna stop us? No. All right, we're gonna take the win.
Well, they aggressively pushed onto the core. SMG did a really good job pushing members away, and those weren't the members who were really equipped to take out the siege minion. But that said, you have to give your life for the core. This is, I always yell at my allies for this same thing, but it is unacceptable to let the core die before you die. You have to give your life for the core in that situation. And one of the members, I forget who, but they were extremely high on life. So, I mean, and I don't mean in the good way. They had lots of HP, and they should have sacrificed that HP to take out that siege minion. Especially when you have not only a marksman on it, but also Kilgroth, which is one of the fast... I mean, look at their lineup. They have Kilgroth, a marksman, Liliana, Superman. That is one of the fastest tower kill lineups you'll ever see. So Flash Wolves not recognizing that and letting the core die is a serious blunder by them. Not to mention,
should have thrown your boy Wayne under the bus. Wayne got himself out of position. Shouldn't have tried to do it. Shouldn't have tried to make it happen.
Well, their entire team just bungled that last 2 to 3 minutes. Wayne dies by himself. Hero tries to save him, which is not really that much of a mistake because he had been conditioned to do so. And you know, after that, trying to continue the fight was a mistake. Probably should have let him die Malleus out, but you can understand it a little bit. After that, everyone just kind of messed up. They died. One more hero died, and then after that, they didn't protect their core well enough. So Flash Wolves not looking the greatest. But good play by SMG though. They had some nice plays throughout the game. They withstood the Flash Wolves pushback, and were able to finish things off.
I mean,
the thing is, Flash Wolves has never had a good all-around game. They've always just been the team that has inexplicable team fights where they're down like 2,000 gold and they just kill everyone and like, what just happened? And as it turns out, doing that wins you games. If you could just win when you're 2,000 gold down and wipe the other team, you're probably going to win the game, which is why they have such a good record. But SMG able to withstand that. They were already up 3,000 to 4,000 gold before it started, and they take a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, side of Flash Wolves tried to take one too many wild team fights. Works out at the end of the day in favor of members of SMG, and we are starting to see that turn.
They're certainly looking way better than they did about 2 weeks ago when they lost to Mad, inexplicably.
Yeah.
Like the team that you see today and the team that you saw defeat J-Team, it seems like that team is a completely separate team from the team that lost to Mad. I thought the SMG was done. They were playing so terribly at the time, and they lost to Mad, who we saw earlier today is very sloppy. So it might be just a matter of playing to your competition, and SMG overlooking the lower teams and playing up to the upper teams.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good thing to have if you're a middling team if you're able to punch above your weight class. It just comes down to the fact, like, do you know how to close out? Like, if you can punch above your weight class, the next thing you work on is, okay, how do we close out games against teams we are better than or are dominating? Once we do that, it's like, okay, so we can secure games below us, and we can sometimes punch up. And then you start building, it's like, okay, it's no longer punching up, it's contending. It's no longer contending, it's winning. It's no longer winning, it's dominating. Like, that is kind of the progression. So, this is the SMG we saw play up against J-Team, not making a whole lot of mistakes. I want to see it again. At this point, I'm rooting for SMG to get that
Heroes full health. Also,
Yeah.
wait, Wayne wasn't even there? Wait a second. I didn't even realize
Wayne was clearing the mid lane. Wayne was clearing the mid lane wave, and Heroes ulted onto Wayne instead of clearing the minion, stopping the cannon.
That was weird.
So,
I guess he figured Wayne was going to drone drop on everyone, and so that kind of made sense. But that also means that the Angelic Splendor was in a different spot. That was really strange. I didn't even realize he was up, because when I was wondering if they were going to win the game, it was about like anywhere from 3 to 7 seconds on the death timers, and they're like pushing in. So I thought that people were going to be coming in, maybe they can finish off the core. But apparently Wayne got up before everyone else and was just like doing stuff. That was just bizarre.
he was just kind of straight chilling.
They didn't know the siege minion was there? Is that what happened?
I don't know. All they had to do was kill the siege minion.
Okay. I guess what he was thinking is we can't let our middle tower die, and if we try to wait for them to come and then defend the tower is dead because we can't defend against that. But if I clear it now, then our mid tower survive, and we'll just hope that they don't
I
kill
just
our
think
core.
there was miscommunication. I think that like just somebody didn't kill the minion when they were supposed to.
Yeah. Well, go to game number dos. Ni. Actually, wait. What is 2 in Chinese? I think it's that's Japanese.
E-R...
Right? It's
E-R...
Right? I think.
E-R...
It's like
I think is 2.
Yeah, it's E-R sansu, right? I think for
Yeah,
Chinese.
yeah.
And then, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went on that tangent. Anyway. Valheim, Pyrrha, same bands here from SMG as last game.
Drop that Yebeneth. Don't let him have it.
Why does it always take a game for people to ban Yebeneth? It's like just ban him.
I don't know. Everybody thinks they know how to beat it. It's like when people were letting Lindis through and she was busted, or Violet through and she was busted, like straight up before the changes. Like, it's the kind of thing where everybody thinks they've come up with a solution, and that's fine. This is the proper way to respond. It's like, okay, we didn't have it all together. We didn't figure that out. That's fine. We can win game 2. We take that off the table and we go back to running a similar strategy to what we had planned. Just, it's... if you know how to play Yebeneth, you know how strong he is. So the question is do they not know how to play Yebeneth?
Yeah, I have like 20 games on him, and he's absolutely busted. I've won 1v2s, I've won 1v3s. It's just like, it's insane. So.
When DJ Yebeneth says, "Put your hands together," the whole enemy team listens to him. It's like, "Put your hands together, I'm about to drop a beat." And just one good branching out, and just an entire team is wrecked. Like, all the positioning is done. You're waiting to die.
Yeah, especially because one good branching out means you almost always have Redwood Rush, because you get 4 stacks. You need 5 stacks to use Redwood Rush, and one branching out on 2 heroes is 4. So all you have to do is have 1 more stack, and you already have Redwood Rush, and you usually have that 1 stack. So you're branching out, they're slammed together, you Redwood Rush and you slam into them. And by the way, he does a lot more damage than Thane, because I just play him with mostly AD Arcana, and he just smashes people, and he's still super survivable. So yeah, if a marksman gets near you, you can literally go 100 to 0 them with just branching out. Use your 1, smack them a couple times, you have that frost cape, so you hit them a couple times, and if they're not dead already, you pop your ult, and either way they should be running away from you. So it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, he's just good. So ban comes out, he's done on the table, there is no Chargnar, so you can run Mina Lindis pretty safely. Crush is the answer for SMG to the fact that they banned the Chargnar. That's what they were looking for. Pretty standard. Raz Liliana, one of the 2. So Hanzo gonna take the Liliana. She should probably take the Raz.
She was amazing in the Flash last game. I'm curious if they're gonna run the same thing.
It was really good, but I think when you have Raz as an option, it was banned last game. I think they end up taking it.
We'll see what they decide to do, because obviously every player has a preference as far as what they're good at, and if they're providing similar uses, similar utility to the team, then he might go for what he's more comfortable with. But do you see the Violet potentially come out? And locking that in will give them lots of firepower, to be sure. Especially because this, again, is the tournament server and not the current Taiwan situation.
I want to say Raz. Maybe not Cricknack, maybe something else priority. GNR. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think you need to take your Cricknack now if you're going to take it. If it's not Cricknack, then solid side laners. Maybe they end up getting the Kilgoth in this scenario.
Well, unless you want the Lindis, I think you just keep the Lindis in the jungle. So, I'm perfectly fine with that. Between Jinnar and Marja is actually a very underrated pair. Because as Jinnar comes in, Because Jinnar's only going to come in on like a couple of heroes if he sees an opportunity. And while that's happening, the Marja can come in and do the similar thing. Superman is fine as well. He provides a lot of disruption. Even though you'd rather have people clumped up for Jinnar, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
because
I like the Jinnar Marja.
Well,
it
Superman
gives you that slow,
yeah,
super good setup.
Yeah, but the Superman can push members back into you. And having a lot of the disarray that Superman can cause is very nice as well. So Jinnar, he ults in, makes people run away. Superman, he ults in, makes people run away. And then people are completely scattered, and Lindis finishes them all off. So you have... Even though it seems like there's a bit of lack of synergy between these heroes, in a way, there is synergy. It just takes a little bit of thinking about it, because Superman and Lindis like disarray. They like people running around with like chickens with their heads cut off so that they can finish them off. But Jinnar, even though he likes people to be clumped, he also is someone who can cause that disarray in the first place by just running in with his ultimate, and they have to run away from him. So in a way, it works. I don't see Jinnar getting potentially that many kills, but he could scare people off for the rest of his team. Yoma can deal somewhat with the Kilgroth or Xenial, as it were. So that's fine. I do kind of like Marja or your girl Irie in this situation.
I like Marja more here. I like Marja more because this is a team fight comp. Like Dark Dominion, as well as Exuberance. No.
They're messing with
no.
Please don't. Oh my, stop. Oh my goodness. If you guys are new to this stream, we hate Melloc because he's been underperforming so much in every league and just hasn't been able to do anything. And the other thing is, like, if you're causing disarray, that's exactly the opposite of what Melloc wants. He wants people clumped up so that he can use his cleave. And Shock, if everyone's running away already, then Shock's not going to help. And neither does it help. Like, if you Shock in, that doesn't help the Exuberance and Jinnar either. Maybe he's another bait character. Maybe he's another bait character for the Lindis and Superman. That's the biggest, it's the voice of support that I can give them. That's the biggest thing I can say for that, is he shocks in, doesn't get anyone, but everyone's running away in opposite directions, and Lindis can maybe pick someone off, or Superman can pick someone off. That's the one thing I can say about this. Everything else doesn't seem good at all. But yeah. I was liking their comp. Their comp seemed amazing, like you were mentioning before, when they were looking at the Marja. But now I'm not so sure.
It is currently 9:33 on the east coast of the United States on October 5th. It's a Friday. I want this noted for the record as the day that the moment in time where SMG began to 2-0 Flash Wolves.
Wait, did they 2-0 J-Team, or was it 2-1? I forgot.
I think that one was 2-1. Let me check.
There's been so many games and everything's blending together for some reason. For some reason, I remember...
It was 2-0.
Yeah, for some reason I remember the RPL better. Although, that's probably because we have these really long 4-match days with the GCS. But, in any case, getting started with this one...
That's why I write down all of the drafts.
Nice. Alright, so, getting started with this one. Chi-Chi going to try to go ahead and get things started. Ice Fang going to be being annoying. Same thing with Ron. Pulls out the Might Golem, but only going to be selling things out for a little bit. And... Wayne on the Lindis is probably going to be ahead on the jungling anyway, even without that little pull. So, little nuisance for SMG, but they'll get over it. And everything's good and fine. Genji taking quite a bit of damage.
Triple jungle objective control for the side of SMG versus single for Flash Wolves. So, if the jungle invasion pressure is well done, we will see the members of SMG actually get well-stacked jungle items, as long as they're paying very close attention to when and where they can properly aggress. Because it's the kind of thing where if you've that many punishes, like, dear God, this Lindis, like, if Lindis goes down at a crucial moment, they're just going to wipe her jungle, and she's going to miss an entire rotation.
Well, in the meantime, this little duel in the bottom half is being well played by Ice Fang, despite our objections to the pick in general, really freezing the minion wave out there from Liang, but he's going to be perfectly fine. And like you mentioned, the triple punish is not necessarily something they plan, it's just that these heroes are inclined to pick punish for the items that they bring them. So we'll see how that works out for them as the objectives do come up, which they will in 3, 2, 1 for the Abyssal. But many members congregating around this area, for actually all 5 here from Flash Wolves, trying to see if they can't get a pick and maybe start on the Abyssal. As they
longer this goes, better it is for SMG.
Right, though Superman does rotate to the top and he clears waves extremely quickly, so might not be a problem for him, but he actually lasers in the opposite direction if you saw on the minimap there, so not going to clear the wave as quickly as he possibly could. And yeah, it's pretty insane because the Darkslayer lane both have heroes who can rotate extremely quickly. Obviously Xenial can teleport over, and Superman, he literally flies. So very mobile members in the DS lane here, the Darkslayer lane, so once the fight breaks out, we could see fireworks. Speaking of which, Wayne pops the vision, goes in. Genji getting extremely low. Doesn't have the Metamorphosis. He's going to go down probably even through the Angelic Splendor, but in comes Chi-Chi with that Exuberance. Chi-Chi going down very low as well. So Lang taking a lot of damage on top of that, and the members of SMG just have to turn tail and run, nearly going down. All of them nearly going down. Going to be chasing them is Wayne, but cannot pick that up. Looks like Liang was wise to that potential gank here. So he walks all the way back to base, realizing that he's unlikely to be able to recall it back. And all that said and done, Flash Wolves had a very nice team fight, as they usually do. They take the Abyssal, but it could have been worse for SMG. 2 more members could have fallen.
Yeah, that was a pretty big misplay by Genji, in my opinion. You're not level 4, man. You can't take those positionings. But if you were level 4, they would have absolutely wrecked the members of Flash Wolves based on how close they were all clumped together on that brush. So if I'm SMG and you've already stalled things out pretty far and your support just isn't level 4, find him that experience, especially when it's a big team fight ultimate like Metamorphosis.
Yeah, you have to imagine Flash Wolves knew that he didn't have Metamorphosis, so they weren't really afraid of that. But that is something to look at going forward. Now, nearly about 1,000 gold lead here for Flash Wolves, so they certainly have that going for them, which is extremely scary because in our game number 1, they won team fights even when they're down gold. But speaking of which, Chi-Chi getting extremely low, has to use Exuberance to get away. Obviously didn't want to have to expend that. But get away he does, and it's probably going to be up fairly quickly, about 30 seconds from now. Things going to reset.
I think Genji could have ulted him. I think that might have worked in his favor. He might have killed him right there with the damage off of Metamorphosis. Would have been close.
It would have been close, and you get 80% movement speed at the beginning with Exuberance, so he could have potentially gotten it away anyway. I suppose you're talking about while they were chasing him. So, in any case, we'll see how he decides to use that going forward. She's taking a lot of damage again. Genji has to get away from there. Those orbs are just confusing me. I'm like, what are? Oh, that's Jinnar. In the case, going to be a little bit invade here on Serenia, trying to go in. Wow, great push there from Heroes, but he's going to take a lot of damage from the tower for it. But it completely wiped out his shield, which meant he couldn't really take out the minions. But that said, he did take that damage, so he has to run away. Things are going to be resetting once more. Wayne just zooming through his own jungle, taking all of these farms, and Ice Fang being a nuisance himself, trying to cut off this wave.
I just want to say, for the record, Heat Vision's still the most busted skill in the game. No skill should be able to take priority over every other skill because it is a high-speed moving projectile like that. Like, that's just... I've always disliked that. I've always disliked that coding of skills where a character is in the air, but they're not actually in the air. It just looks like they're in the air because it's just so misleading as to what you should actually be able to do with them. But really good positioning from Ice Fang and around just to sit in that bush, and the side of SMG don't feel confident they can step up to make anything happen. That's going to be a major objective going over to the side of Flash Wolves as they slowly accrue a bigger and bigger lead, and SMG seem a little a little too restrained, or anything just being kind of caged in their side of the map and not really being given an opportunity.
Yeah, you see constantly 3 members hanging around the center of the map, which is not what you want to be seeing. And because of that, we even saw heroes just jump in and cut the wave while the members were mid. So SMG really needs to try to make something happen, even if they're just going opposite of where the action is. Maybe trying to pick up a kill on the Superman up top, or near on the bottom here from Ice Fang. Just make something happen in general. Sitting in mid, we just constantly see Chi-Chi and Honto sitting there in mid. It's not really doing much for their team, but looks like they're just trying to hold on for there. Liang taking a lot of damage trying to save this tower. He does though. While Metamorphosis, Reiki shot, lots go down in the center with nothing to speak of it other than a lot of damage on Chi-Chi.
Yeah, I mean, they sent Chi-Chi back. That's basically the extent of the situation. That's a gain, but not a particularly massive one, so... I mean, SMG, they'll take what they can get, but...
Chi-Chi is not very farmed at all. That took him a long time to take down that Spirit Sentinel, but they're going to go ahead and get some a little more experience in the mid here. The levels aren't too bad, other than Genji sitting stuck at 7, but that is something. And again, they're only down that 700 gold-ish. So it's still, they're continuing to be able to farm up reasonably well, and they're playing extremely safe. Only 1 kill on the side of Flash Wolf, so it's certainly fine. But big Dark Minion comes in after that flicker, and a massive shock as well as that exuberance. That is the combo that they were looking for. Genji's gonna pop his Metamorphosis just to try to keep himself alive. That cleave nearly kills him through the shield, but away he will walk. But while we say that, Liang is going to take a tower, so not an entire loss there for SMG. And in fact, if they doesn't die here, they're only down 400 gold?
They were split pushing and farming the entire time. I mean, another objective is going to go to Flash Wolves. They'll get a 3rd Abyssal Dragon. But that's kind of what happens when you stick to the farm. You end up losing. I mean, it ended up being 2 people lost at the end of the day. So that's maybe 300-ish gold across the kills, evened out by the tower and the farm. It does have some merit. Metamorphosis is up in the hands of Genji. Exuberance used very, very early. That's a lot of damage there. Genji looking for an opportunity. Liang is deep into the backline. Shock is used, but Wayne will go down. Serenia was able to keep Genji alive through all of that damage. They end up losing the tower, but end up trading out 1 kill. So it's about a 1k gold lead in favor of Flash Wolves, but SMG's still in a decent position. That's going to be some damage on the heroes. He's going to have to run away. I don't think that Reiki shot is actually going to manage to connect. No. He puts on the flight boots and gets himself out of there, but SMG answering back a bit. And if we look at items, Liang is starting to become a significant scare. Chi-Chi is starting to get some of that damage that we haven't really seen out of him so far. The farm is building up. I don't really know what the jungle stacks would look like for the other members, so there's definitely always going to be some scalability there. For them to get a little tankier, get a little bit more damage when it comes to those 2 sideliners who picked up the punish. But
the fact that Chi-Chi was constantly in the center makes me believe that both Xenial and the Kilgroth have been able to build up stacks with the monsters hanging around the side there. And like you mentioned, Liang is such a beast on this Kilgroth. We saw it in game 1, just fighting amongst multiple members. And if ever he gets an opportunity, he's going to be jumping on Wayne and causing havoc. But in comes the flicker, doesn't get anything for it. Run. That is 120 seconds that you're not going to have that. And SMG is fully aware. Now they have the tools to push back at Flash Wolves here. Genji with that Metamorphosis trying to make something happen. Looking at Ice Fang. Going to pop in there, but not going to get anything done. Chi-Chi going to be a little bit annoying here, but they're going to move on.
Okay, Chi-Chi. You build me that Muramasa right now. It is 10 minutes in. Don't you dare build a rank breaker. Get that extra damage. I'm just going to say that right now.
I see 2 short swords. Although that could be a lot of things. That's true.
That could be a lot of things, but just give me that Muramasa, bruh. Muramasa takes 3 short swords like a lot of items. The full fan of knives. From the side of SMG at this point, they've stabilized pretty well. If I'm them, I slow it down as much as humanly possible without giving up too much. I want to get Liang to god tier status. The way these the way these fights have kind of played, if they're a little bit more on top of the, if they're a little bit more on the ball and they're paying attention to where Ron is in terms of positioning, like he's looking to be the playmaker, and pretty much every good thing that's happened for the side of Flash Wolves has been off of that. Keep an eye on him. slow it down a little bit. SMG can hold out till they get to a better status. Flash Wolves just keep fighting them, keep the aggression up, look for every opportunity. Even if the opportunities are a little bit dicey, full hard commit to the play because they've got a decent amount of tankiness. If they're tanking towers and objectives properly, they should be okay. But this is the first time we are seeing SMG get pressure, and yeah, Superman managed to just scare them just a wee bit. So
that was the Enraged Abyssal Dragon too, so that was a huge objective if they could have taken that. But looks like Wayne's going to be aggressing onto Genji here. Genji's going to pop back and get the Metamorphosis off, getting a lot of damage here. Wayne getting low. In comes the Exuberance to try to get on Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's taking a lot of damage, gets the Essence of the Wind to keep him alive, but down goes Shishi. So too does Hanzo though, and they're going to be continuing this fight in the mid here while Xenial and Superman fight off in the bottom. Hero's extremely low, can certainly finish him off. Malleus and doesn't get the shield explosion. He's going to stay alive. Speaking of heroes, in the meantime, Chi-Chi taking a lot of damage from Ice Wing, but that is a slow-moving Malak. Heroes trying to stay alive here amongst many heroes that are closing in him on all sides, but in comes the other members of Flash Wolves as well. Chi-Chi's going to try to finish him up, and he is able to do so, but here's another Bush Party. Can they take out Genji? There's the Dark Dominion. He's going to potentially go down. He is going to go down. Liang jumps into 3, but actually taking a lot of damage. Might take out Wayne. Can he do it? He's getting slowed down by that Might Foot. Does he have another dash into him? In comes the Angelic Splendor to keep him alive. There is the heal. Wayne, he's trying to get something done, but in comes the last dash, and down goes Wayne. The Might buff is not enough. Ice Vein taking a lot of damage too, but in comes the Dark Dominion, in comes the Exuberance. Liang actually gets another Essence of the Wind. Oh my goodness, able to get out of there just in time. And oh my god, that fight was absolutely insane. And while all that was going, Chi-Chi and Hanzo were like, you guys have fun, we're gonna take towers, okay? Is that okay? Okay.
The lifesteal to play. The way Liang played all of those angles was so impressive. First to be able to cut off the Superman, then to be able to understand the spacing, how far he could dash to get that one extended range to auto attack off onto Wayne to slow him because he had the red buff. Everything just came together for the members of SMG in just a wholly new calculated way. But again, they give up the Abyssal Dragon because they're scared, and honestly, Hero should not have backed in that bush. He should have stayed, threatened the Malik, and given them the necessary space. Granted, they were taking 2 objectives at the same time, so Liang is over here working on this Dark Slayer, getting it down to basically half health on his own. Chi-Chi needs that blue buff, is low on mana. Angelic Splendor into the backline, looking for pressure on Wayne, gets still a couple of auto attacks, has the slow, but the tower is still there, so they do need to be careful. Here comes Chi-Chi in on the backside, gets a little bit of additional damage. The Dark Slayer has not leashed just yet. Ice Fang stepping forward, Chi-Chi into the backline. Hanzo gets a stun off on him. That's going to be huge. Liang is still surviving. They're getting underneath the tower. The Metamorphosis is there to be able to slow them down, and they are just poking just everybody but Ice Fang. He does manage to get 1 kill, sacrifices himself for the play. The Dark Slayer has leashed, but Ron, what have you got? You got a Dark Dominion, just manages to get the pull. Dark Dominion actually came out late there. Could have done it basically immediately. That's going to be another kill going over to Chi-Chi. SMG have routed Flash Wolves on their return, and that'll be top tower going down. I don't really see another major objective coming through, but SMG's starting to get scary. And there's the Muramasa. Understands the timing. Chi-Chi gets it.
And with it comes that 35% cooldown reduction, which means those tactical fires are always off cooldown, getting that damage in. Hero's going to be sharking around here, trying to see if he can make something happen.
Wait.
But
okay, minimap was key. I thought what Liang was going to do is Liang was going, like, as they're drawing to one objective, Liang solos the other.
Well, he's looking like he's going over to it right now. He's checking it. He's going over to Ice Fang, see if he can't get a little duel there, but this map is completely split up here as members are just crisscrossing, flanking, going off in multiple directions, and you got to commit multiple members to deal with this Liang as he's going to be aggressing onto Ice Fang here, taking a lot of damage. Actually has to shock out of there. Genji unable to halt the shock with Metamorphosis just a little bit late, but that means that there's no shock on the side Flash Wolves, but no Metamorphosis either. Ron's gonna try to make something happen. In comes Chi-Chi potentially. He might have to go for the Flicker Exuberance, but Hanzo realizes it, puts some pressure on him, and makes him use the Exuberance early. That secures the Abyssal Dragon here for SMG, and they're gonna be on the way with the Dark Blessing onto Chi-Chi.
Alright, so full build Liang. Liang has hit God tier status. He's just absolutely shredding, destroying everybody in his path.
By the way, copy that build.
built.
That's a nice mix of
that
damage and survivability. A lot of times we see him build way too defensively, and he's just a wet noodle. He's just smacking you with nothing.
I love the Hercules Madness. I think that that's an item that is thoroughly underutilized by bruisers. It gives you armor, it gives you magic defense, it gives you damage, and then it gives you an activatable shield. Or not an activatable shield, but a once you get low, get this shield. Like it fits Kilgroth perfectly.
Well, Hanzo picks up Hecate's item as well, so he's going to be doing a lot more damage. He is currently at half health, so that's a bit of a problem for him. Can't really stay here much longer as they aggress onto the top side of the map, take down one more tower here. And Genji's going to be playing a keep away from his back line. He has that Metamorphosis ready if he wants to pop it. Now they're starting to put more pressure onto the top lane, but looks like they have backed off as they have not been able to fully take advantage of it. The buff is going to be going away in 5 seconds. With it, Chi-Chi's Dark Blessing will be gone in about 30 seconds after that. And they're starting to go on to this Dark Slayer, but Flash Wolf sniffs it out. They're heading over with multiple members. Liang still in the bot lane, so this is a very dicey proposition here for SMG. Liang still pushing that bot lane, and this is the issue that we saw last game with Monster Shield, allowing that bot lane to get pushed in. So Superman has to deal with that. Linus actually goes back as well, and as SMG see that, they go straight back to the Dark Slayer. And as we see that again, Flash Wolves is going to be sharking around trying to get onto them, but good zoning by the side of Kresh and Hanzo onto the Liliana. Are they going to be able to take this out? Flash Wolves aren't near SMG. Few more shots here from Violet, and they take it down. Get that Dark Slayer buff, and will they be able to take down towers this time?
And that's the power of that Kilgroth threat. He's just scared. He's just scary enough to make you have to kind of think, like, you always got to keep eyes in the back of your head for him. He can split push pretty solidly. We've now got Chi-Chi on the full items. I would like to see the Frost Cape sold for a Clavis, and then
I like Fenrir's personally.
I'm okay with that too. Either way, just like swap that out for damage, and then swap out the Blade of Eternity once it runs out of stacks for a different defensive item.
Right. She just needs that damage right now.
Yeah,
because she already has the revive,
like,
so yeah. But
yeah.
In any case, they're going to be trying to push on. The Darkslayer healing buff is at 33 seconds at the moment. Drake is going to be pushing the bot lane. Liang putting a little bit of pressure onto heroes. 4 come to congregate here in the bottom, which means they could get towers up the top. Hans is clearing at the mid wave, but there's no minions coming for them over there. In comes the Shock to try to slow things down. Ice Fang trying to take out these towers. Lots of damage coming onto him, but that means that the minions are going to go down. So Ice Fang doing his job. Hanzo in a bit of trouble. He's going to dash away. The minions are coming in the center now, and this is not the greatest handling of these minion waves. Metamorphosis comes out, but they're not going to be able to do much with it as it seems. Chi-Chi trying to get that damage still, but not quite enough, like we were mentioning. These waves keep coming just a little bit off timing here for SMG. Flash was able to rotate and clear them all in turn. Chi-Chi's taking a lot of damage, going to go back to base. Can they make something happen while he is there? Bottom lane, more siege minions there. Hero's not trying to let anything happen to his pure defenseless little tower. And in comes the midwave. I feel like I'm repeating myself because this keeps happening over and over again. The minions coming at different intervals. Can they time this correctly? Speaking of SMG here, the mid tower is getting a little bit low, but obviously both the Drake and the Darkslayer healing are gone. 35 seconds on the Abyssal Dragon. Looks like SMG is going to try to keep this pressure on while they wait for the Abyssal Dragon to come back up. They are still up 5,000 gold as the Aegis is taken here for Genji. He has both shield loss and the Aegis, which is a ton of defense there. 720 armor between those two items. Well, looks like they're trying to just feign the pressure a little bit. Hanzo getting a little bit of damage. Chi-Chi can always just use tactical fires onto those towers. All the towers are slowly going down. Genji using the Metamorphosis. Are they going to get something done here? Looks like a Shock is going to come in to try to go onto the backline. No one getting particularly low, though, so it looks like this is going to be disengage.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, as long as SMG doesn't screw up, they can do this forever. They can just sit here and just do this literally forever. Interesting to see Kilgroth sell the Hercules for a...
It just popped.
Metal.
It just got procced. That's why.
Oh, it got that is, well, if you have the gold, that's some next level stuff. But
yeah,
rarely does one ever have the gold. And when you're talking about all of that armor, I just, for me to continue to rant about
they don't realize that he's doing this. They don't realize he's doing this right now. So
free objective.
Yeah, just take it and take the buff while you're at it, because why not? He's gonna go ahead and take the might buff as well, so that he has an extra slow on all of his attacks to combine with the Hyoga's Edge. So this is SMG slowly but surely choking their opponents out.
Yeah, and they've also got a lot of extra lives. They've got 2 Blades of Eternity. They've got plenty of solid tank line. There's that sold for the jungle item.
Well, what does Flash Wolves... Okay, what does Flash Wolves do, though? Because they're getting choked out, and Chi-Chi's just going to tactical fire every tower until it's dead. And they have multiple lives, like you mentioned.
You pray for a you pray for a max late game team fight. You are building up gold. The waves are pushing in. Flash Wolves are just biding their time and hoping that SMG makes a mistake. Because it's pretty hard to force one so far. Every time we've seen the Malik go forward, he doesn't really get a whole lot. They need that real wombo combo to make it happen.
Fenrir's.
So
Fenrir's picked up for Wayne.
Yeah, a lot of Fenrir's have just been picked up. Chi-Chi got one as well.
Alright, well that means he's taking a lot more damage to this tower. In comes the Metamorphosis once again. Shock lands on 4, but they're not getting much done, except for Liang, who actually goes down, and he gets a shield at the exact right moment, gets the heal as well. That Dark Blessing coming in handy in a big way. The tower goes down as well, and Hero's going to pay for his life for some strange reason. I don't really know why. The Blade of Eternity obviously goes off, but that's not going to be very happy for him. Strenier gets pulled in by the Dark Dominion, but he's going to be perfectly fine. Chi-Chi and Ko had to go back to the base to heal themselves. Shock tries to come out, but gets cancelled there, and Ice Fang's taking a lot of damage himself there. And all the members of SMG are still up, and I don't believe any Blade of Eternities had to be expended in that fight. I think it was only the Dark Blessing, which was going to go off cooldown eventually anyway.
Heroes used up his.
Yeah, I mean on the side of SMG. So SMG is looking extremely good.
SMG, I think they maintained all of them.
Right,
over the course of that.
Desticle picked up here for Superman. He has a lot of damage, not all that much defense, so he needs to make something happen when he jumps in there. Gonna be all or nothing here for Heroes and the side of Flash Wolves as they try to hold onto this game. Liang being a pest in the bottom lane once more, threatening to kill that core now that the bottom tower is gone. And it feels like SMG have a free Darkslayer on their hands.
Yeah, I don't see Flash Wolves going out there and dealing with that anytime soon. Chi-Chi will finish that off in due time.
Liang is the key, just being annoying, just not dying, but being just annoying enough, being in the vision of SMG, just to be like, hey, don't you dare fight my team, because I'm gonna kill your core. So that's the plan here. Actually, yeah, Liang doesn't really have time to go threaten a back door here, so he's going to stick around the area. But meanwhile, big Dark Dominion comes in, and Hanzo is actually dead. That's a massive shot coming in. And actually, Ice Fang is extremely low himself. He's probably going to go down. Doesn't have that much defense on his side as the tactical fire comes rolling in from Chi-Chi, quite literally. And Serenia and Co are going to be going and pushing onto the members. Ice Fang getting extremely low. He's going to die after all, even went through the Blade of Eternity. Wayne low herself. The was that. Okay, I guess they killed Yang and he came back. He like appeared out of nowhere. I thought he flickered, but that was the Blade of Eternity. He comes back, so Blade of Eternity count on multiple members going down. Heroes actually doesn't have anything left on that side. So they're going to try to push this in. And, wow, heal comes out. Dark Dominion comes out as well. The Yang actually pushing onto the tower, trying to kill a member, but he's going to go down before he's able to do so. In the backline, she has that Arctic Aura, but it's not going to be useful for him. Before Wayne goes down, he's able to take out Chi-Chi, but she's going to come back because she has that Blade of Eternity. Minions onto the core. Superman chunking it down, actually. She's going to have to deal with that, but I don't know if he can deal with it in time. In any case, this top tower is going to go down, and that's almost certainly going to be an irrecoverable situation here for... Huh? Okay, GG.
Yeah, they're just calling it. There's enough time and enough minions and enough health. They basically just called it. That dude is super excited.
I don't know. It seems pretty shady. They're just calling it.
I'm just totally not scripted. Totally not scripted. So, first off, congratulations to SMG. They just beat Flash Wolves. It is the redemption story. If they keep this up, they could honestly. I think mathematically second in the league. I don't know if they can get first. I don't know if they have enough games left, but
yeah, if they go undefeated and Flash Wolves suffer. Wait, Flash Wolves would have to lose 4 times. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, Flash Wolves have to lose a lot of games. But if I'm one team, I'm shaking in my space boots.
Space boots?
Anyways, bad reference. Not the point. So SMG pull off an incredibly good win. A lot of that on incredible play coming out from Liang to just find opportunities. Hanzo played pretty well. Chi-Chi survived a lot of scenarios I actually honestly didn't think they would. Flash Wolves, you picked Malik. You deserve what you got.
He really wasn't doing much. He did as well as he could have. And he wasn't playing bad either.
There was that one good shock play. There was that one good shock play in mid, but that was mostly on a flicker pull Dark Dominion from Ren.
Right, and he was getting amazing cleaves off too. He's playing as well as he possibly could have, and it still wasn't enough. So I think it's time. I think I need to like tell the masses in our next tier list to drop Malik down. In fact, we probably
drop
are.
Malik to a C tier hero.
I don't know. I think on the ladder he's probably still good, but honestly, I've seen so many pro games that he's definitely going to be dropping from the very top tier. It's on the list of people to drop.
When the season ends, I'll have all the drafts from the RPL and all the drafts from the GCS, and I've already thrown together a nice little draft spreadsheet document. I haven't been using it; I've just been marking everything down, but I have that. We'll throw those in there, and at the end of the season, we will see a couple of fun stats. We'll see how good is Malik. We'll see how good is Marja.
Absolutely, and that will absolutely alter the tier list going forward. So that will do it for us today. As we mentioned, that they're probably going to have an interview with one of the members of SMG after their huge victory. That puts them at 4-5 on this season? Question mark.
Yep, 4-5, 12-12 across the board.
And that drops Flash Wolves to 7-2, and SMG trying to catch up to one team and AHQ ahead of them. So Liang, very deserving MVP. He was just a beast on Kilgarth both times, constantly being annoying and constantly killing Wayne when he was fighting 1v3, by the way. Wayne was just
he always found Wayne. The one thing I do want to note from the side of SMG that was a mild concern was when they were trying to take that Dark Slayer at the end of the game. Well, first off, the build from their jungler, who's for some reason my brain won't let me remember who that is.
Chi-Chi?
Chi-Chi, yeah. So Chi-Chi sold boots for Fenrir's Tooth instead of selling Frost Cape. And to me, that was a major mistake, because then he had to sell he sold his jungle item instead of selling Frost Cape, and then had to sell his boots to buy a jungle item again because he didn't have the increased damage to monsters, and they couldn't finish that Dark Slayer, and that almost turned out horribly for them. So I just want to say, God damn it, that was wrong. Like, that was a dangerous moment for them. They were super far ahead, but like there was a moment there where I thought the members of Flash Wolves were going to be able to instantly come in there, steal that Dark Slayer, turn the fight, come back, defend base. Like it got really close based on that one minor item decision.
Yeah, especially because Soul Reaver gives you 135 damage and 50% attack speed and healing. It almost feels like it's almost not even worth selling for Fenrir's.
And 35% increased damage to monsters. Yeah, like
it's not even really worth selling for Fenrir's, to be honest.
Exactly. Like, it should have sold Frost Cape, because that extra 250 damage ain't really doing a whole lot. That slow is really not as important as, hey, cool, you're a carry, you just got chunked all of your health. Like,
right. Well, it's also for the defense, but only 200 armor, and it's not going to be helping you too much.
Didn't need it once you had Blade of Eternity. You don't need the Frost Cape. You've got a defensive item, and you're looking at high-end burst to the point where you're finishing targets. But that's just a moment I want to note, because that's a terrifying thing to be in the middle of trying to finish a Dark Slayer in late game and be like, wait, we're not doing any damage. Like, that could have been a real big oversight.
Okay, well, those are our thoughts. Before we go, make sure you guys tune in, let's see. So tomorrow's cast starts at 1 o'clock Taiwanese time, and it's currently 10 o'clock in Taiwan. So in
1 a.m.
in 15 hours.
Oh boy.
So tune in.
Tomorrow's 4 games.
Tomorrow's 4 matches. Tune in tomorrow tune in 15 hours from now, guys. We're going to have 4 matches for you from the GCS. We're getting closer and closer to those playoffs. It's going to be Mad versus 1, Flash Wolves versus J-Team, and MS versus AHQ. And finally, SMG continues their run up the standings by going off against HKA. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And we're not going to let this run. We're just going to end the stream. And we'll see you guys later. Good night, guys.
Peace.
Or good morning, or good day.